Good evening, everybody, and welcome to another episode of Tricogha Nights by the Component Cast. I had to stop myself from saying Tricogha because I've said it so many times that now everybody says it, and that's wrong.
And it's wrong. That is
yeah, and it's just it is just subjectively and categorically wrong. But if you're not familiar with this, Roach, what is Tricogha Nights? What are we playing?
We are playing Urban Jungle, which is made by Sanguine Productions, who have brought us other RPGs such as Ironclaw, Bleeding Age, and the Cardinal System. You can obtain Urban Jungle in a digital format as well as a print-to-order format on DriveThru RPG, which I believe is still to this day is still on sale. So somebody's just not updated that. But hey, their loss is your gain because it is on sale for quite a steep discount for the double bundle of the digital and the print to order copies. So you can get it for about a quarter of what it normally goes for. So.
And yes, we have a couple of things, as always, to cover tonight. Before we get started, one of the things is we need to thank our wonderful friends over at Syrinscape for allowing us to share music between multiple desktops. Syrinscape is a wonderful app that you can get on the iOS or Android store, or you can go to their website and download a free app to get yourself started by... It unlocks so many possibilities. It's you can get 20 free sound sets when you first sign up and you use the free app, and you can really use that to bring atmosphere to your table. So to find out more, go to the links in the panels below or the description of the YouTube video, or to sirenscape.com to get yourself started. And before we go any further as well, Mikey, who is our artist, or the character artist, should we say, for this show?
Our character artist is 9Key99, aka 7. They are 9KI99 on Twitter. I have put a link in the chat, so if you wish to take a look at their Twitter, take a look. They are fantastic. Their art is incredibly aesthetic. So if you enjoy something with a little bit of flair, give them a follow and make sure that they know where they came from.
Very well. Well, without further ado, I think we should get on with tonight's broadcast, shall we not?
Tricogha. The city of dreams, they say. They might have even been right once upon a time. But now, it's a rotting, corrupt corpse on a hill. When the nation went dry, a few saw the potential, saw the money that was waiting for them. Now, you can't go a block without passing a speakeasy, even if you can't see it. And you'd be surprised just how many upstanding citizens you'll find at a table with a glass in their hands. These can't help but want money or power. Problem is when both of those mix away from the light of the law. Corruption, exploitation, and murder. It's all just another night in Tricogha.
And we're back. The Roach, bring us on in.
All right. Last episode, we ended off with the party having split into two, but very unequally, with only, I believe, one individual on one side of this party, and the rest going somewhere else. So there's one person alone, and everybody else is miles away. So specifically, our friend Harry Neville was at Juniper Walk, or was going to Juniper Walk. You just finished going through Woodruff, and you're going up to Juniper Walk, where we were going to start you off there. And you're trying to find an operation that you believe is making alcohol in town, or in the city limits, and it is producing so much that it is knocking a lot of the other imported alcohol or a lot of the alcohol importers out of the market lately. While that was going on, the rest of the party decided that since you've settled on a single gang as the culprits, or at least the probable culprits of what's going on, the Turner gang, you wanted to check out another one of their operations, one of their legal fronts to... I'm not sure what the idea was behind it, but you want to go there and check it out. It's a gambling boat on the river, and it wouldn't be out of place for our alderman to attend one night. So you have decided to go there. I don't know if the plan was laid out that well, but we're doing it. So we
got a plan, Roach. All we need is a 357 Magnum. That's it.
Arthur, got a plan. All right, so hey, and this is taking place on a riverboat too. The riverboat job. Hopefully this goes better.
A little bit better.
A little bit. So yeah, let me open up my notes about that, because that's our first thing. Yeah, basically all the rest of the session last week was you gathering information, doing a pretty long and drawn out infiltration of the municipal airport that's still under construction, because that was a potential operation for another gang, in which you confirmed they did not have local produced product there, so I kind of knocked them out of the running, and it left you with one option, or at least one option to your minds. So yeah, the rest of the party, it's night. You've waited before heading out, and you're heading downtown to specifically the downriver section of the South Bend district, which is this odd, like, jutting out portion that probably shouldn't be a part of the South Bend, but politics. Yeah, the boat you're looking for is not the only gambling boat that exists in town. There's an industry, few of them exist, but this is one of the more high-class establishments, the St. Louis Luck, which it's a very large gambling boat that, as you're coming out of the vehicle that you drove here in, and you can kind of see it from a distance, it's this large paddle steamer that's got like two large paddles on either side. Whether or not they function, you're not sure. But it looks straight out of like a classic mid-1800s painting of Americana. It's white painted sidings with big red paddles. So it looks almost out of place next to some of the buildings and lights of the city at this point in time, but it's there. It's even got a couple of spotlights on the shoreline that are pointed at it to kind of highlight the boat. And it's quite active. Like, there's a lot of people or a lot of beasts around the dock to go into the boat. There's like I guess the equivalent of like a velvet rope. Like somebody got a list, they're making sure only certain people can get in. And you can hear it from here. There's music that's playing in the boat, so there's definitely like a live band. It's known for having like a dance floor in the boat. Like it's got a nice big like central not chamber, I don't know, room, like
a ballroom.
Yeah, that's very popular, and it's multiple stories. So there's like a deck that's fairly low to the water line, but then there are multiple stories that are kind of built up to the actual pilot house at the top, which is fairly high up, but you don't see anybody in there. Whether I don't think any of you would have ever cared enough to see if this was a functional ship or if it just towed into position there. But yeah, so is I don't know if you worked it out. Are all of you going in, or is like what's the plan?
I am Andrew's bodyguard for the night, so I have to
And
go with
so
him.
is Rivals here. So I've got 2 bodyguards, basically for one for me and one for the lady. It's probably the way we'd argue it. And then yeah. So before we set foot on in, can we clarify our plan? Just a little bit.
Please.
Because I have an idea of what I'm going to do, but if anyone else had an idea of what we're aiming to get out of this, let me know. Also, Roach, is Sirenscape got anything planned?
Oh no, it doesn't. But I thank you for letting me know.
I was just trying to work out if mine was broken.
I have like 3 contingency notes set up. I don't know what you were planning on doing, so I had to make a couple options here.
Do we want Lena to go and have a look-see?
I mean, she could sneak off to powder her nose and see if she can divulge any information at some point.
She can go and brush her ears. There's a lot to brush.
And I was, I had the idea of going back and playing on our looking for party supplies. Eventually, like deeper into the night, go looking for asking about party supplies because my normal suppliers have really jacked up the price, and I was wondering if they knew where they could, if they had anyone that could, you know,
help a brother out,
help suit my my needs. That would be my. But I feel like a you know, can always try and just make enough of a focus on the tables that gives Lena some cover.
The 2 meat sticks are just going to stand here and wait.
Meat sticks. That's a descriptor.
You guys can input onto what you think we can do as a team, though.
Listen, James Vega may be a meat stick, but at least he's a decent meat stick.
I prefer you 2 over James Vega any time of day and twice on Sundays.
Oh, thanks.
Yeah.
You know what? I'll take that. That's the guy voiced by Freddie Prinze Jr. You know what? I'll take that. All right. I like how Midge nodded. He finally got it. Anyway. I don't think Larence would have any particular like suggestions. He's never done this kind of thing before. You know, he's a punch him up kind of guy.
Nor is Andrew. He's flying by the seat of his pants for sure.
Larence, why don't you maybe speak to the people behind the bar? You may know them.
That's a possibility. Yeah, I might.
I want to point out, just so we all remember, alcohol is illegal.
There'd still be somewhere to get drinks.
Yeah.
You'd still define that as a bar.
Yeah.
Where do you serve drinks? The bar.
Besides,
doesn't matter
being
what's
on a
being
boat,
served.
aren't we outside the city limits and therefore?
No, they accounted for
It's
that
federal.
legislation. No, it's that was a thing. Like gambling boats that were off the coast that you could take a speedboat out to. Like they'd have services to go out there. It was like a thing. You could drink out there legally because it was like a 3-mile limit. That's what a 3-mile limit means, because they expanded the 3-mile limit to the international border on the ship after they figured out, wait a minute, they can just go out there. That's a thing.
All right. Well, I will see what I can learn from the people serving the drinks.
And then Roman, as always, I don't need to tell you, but eyes peeled.
You're right, you don't need to tell me.
Okay, let's do this.
All right. Well, you didn't call ahead, so you don't have reservations. But you are the young hotshot alderman that just got in, so.
And he doesn't want to disappoint the lady.
That's true. Can you give me like a body presence check?
For me,
Yeah.
body presence. Sure. That's a 1. And that's a 5.
That was
Okay.
almost the first crit of the game. First crit fail of the
Oh
game.
my god, we haven't had a crit failure yet. That is true.
No.
We have not had that yet.
Just
Yeah,
put
okay.
that energy out.
Why did
there.
Why did you mention that? That's
Just put that energy out there, because it'll happen to me now.
Well, it was only
Great
DC
vibes.
1. It was a DC 1, so you passed it barely. But the person that is kind of managing who can get in and not get in does recognize who you are and doesn't give you much guff about not being on the list, because people who are important enough get in no matter what.
I was going to say, could I not have levied the fact that I'm famous on that? I have famous as my type. What's it called? My unique trait.
That's in your presence. That's your presence.
Okay. I see.
That's why you have a D. That's why you have a D8.
Again, apologies. I am.
That's already there, Mitch. That's already there. So don't worry. The character sheets will be a lot better in the next game. I've worked on those. Those are ready.
No, it's not that. I remember that as soon as you mentioned it. It's like it's been a day. It's all.
It's been a while. It's been a while.
Been a while.
Yeah. So he doesn't give you too much guff about not being on the list. He recognizes you. Oh, it's the Alderman. So you are able to get in without too much trouble. And yeah, the ropes kind of unclasp in front of you to give you a way in.
Mm-hmm.
And they don't question the fact that you have bodyguards. That's not uncommon for people who come here. And so you're just kind of let in through. And there's a dock that goes down to where the gangplank that goes onto the boat is. And sorry for anybody who knows, I'm going to use boat and ship interchangeably, even though I know that's not right.
All right, I'll just shoot you later.
Yeah. Well, this would be considered a boat, right? I think.
Yes.
No, it wouldn't. It'd be a ship, right? I have no idea. Okay, whatever.
If it's a river boat, it's a boat.
Yeah.
Is it a riverboat?
Well, I mean, they call them gambling boats. That's the colloquial term for them.
Is
I don't know
it
if that's
a riverboat?
It's a paddle steamer.
yeah, it's a
That's
paddle
the
steamer.
thing. Paddle steamers can go to sea. It depends what type it is.
Oh, these. It depends on if you consider the Great Lakes a sea or ocean going, because technically the Great Lakes can be just as bad depending on the time of year. So it wouldn't be able to do that. So
It's a riverboat.
Splitting hairs here,
yeah,
anyway.
splitting hairs doesn't matter. This is just me elongating it so I can get the exposition.
Use the
in
word
my
ship
head.
on pain of death.
So yeah, but again, so there's kind of a little lead up to get actually onto the boat, and what you can tell is this. It's odd for people that haven't been to these before. Like this is hooked up to electricity. Like there's an electrical hookup to the boat, so there's electrical lights on here. You can definitely it's got a party atmosphere. You can hear the music. You can hear like the crowd start inside, and it's almost like if you had to classify it, it's like the facade of a paddle steamer, because it's definitely structurally that, but you can see there's not like the decks aren't the actual decks. There's a lot more empty space inside beyond those windows. But yeah, you are greeted on the gangplank. There's two like employees of the establishment who are kind of just there to make sure nobody falls. Like there's like a rope, like oh god, I'm good. Why am I having trouble? It's like rope handrails. It's not the word for it. On either side, so it's like semi-permanent, but they're making sure, like, they offer like a hand to the lady to get her like over, things like that. Just
Messy.
Yeah, and there's little stairs that go down from the gangplank, and then you're on like the actual deck, which is very close to the river, like water line, because that's what a paddle steamer kind of would, is a very low deck. And there's not a lot out on the deck itself, like the outside deck, but there's like a nice, like almost like they transplanted the entrance to a casino or a fancy hotel onto the front of this boat, like here, like it's very, like it's got nice like filigree like inlays on either side in the wood, and like fancy doors, and it's got the ship's name or the boat's name like on the top above the doors, and they're open, and you can see beyond there just a lot of light and just people. Like a lot of people just like going back and forth. Like it's a weekend, so there's a lot of individuals just having having a good time out on the town in a semi-legal fashion.
In a morally grey situation.
In a morally grey situation, it's better than a speakeasy, at least legally, maybe not morally. Maybe the speakeasy might be better morally, but this is better legally.
You go to jail for less time for being here, but you go to the speakeasy for,
Yeah.
Just as an eye on the tables, is anyone actually... What are people drinking?
Oh, well, it's because, like, alcohol, like, this business has been around before the ban on alcohol, before Prohibition came in. Yeah. Like, riverboats are a thing, like gambling riverboats. So they didn't really adapt. They haven't, like, changed a lot. You can see like all the glasses are mostly the same. What you can assume is like non-alcoholic versions of various like drinks. It's a very limited selection, and there's also like just water. There's like some sort of carbonated drink as well, like being drunk by individuals. Like it's just a mix of everything. Definitely you can see, because this is a legal front, there are no like, from what you can tell, there's not like an under the table menu for here. There's also no like food. It's just drinks and the games, as well as like dancing and stuff, because you can definitely see beyond like this little section where they've got certain games on the bottom deck, like God, I don't know what's going on with me. Like the bottom deck where they've got this little section where they've got a lot of like table games. So this is like roulette, what is it, craps, like the various like big table games right in the front next to the door. Beyond that, there's a large section of space taken up by like a ballroom kind of setup, like a big chandelier, everything, little dance, like a moderately sized dance floor for what you could like for the size of this boat, and then a stage off to the side where they have a live band playing.
Okay.
Where's the Texas Hold'em table?
You definitely do see there are extra decks above this one that look down onto the ballroom, and you can see there's like a lot of smoke and stuff from people smoking, and there are like card tables. You can't tell like from your angle if that's like if it's poker or blackjack or other card based games, but that seems to be where the card games are. They're like above and kind of looking down on the band, etc.
Roman looks longingly.
I'm gonna.
It's okay, Roman. You can get your gambling in at some point.
I'm gonna take.
It's not gambling. It's skill.
I'm taking a silver cigar case out of my jacket pocket, opening one up, opening it to Roman, and saying, "Go on, take a few hands."
Can't.
Me and the lady are just gonna dance for a bit. Go on, play with it. Well, at least take a cigar.
Okay.
And then I offer it again to, and then to Larence as well.
Thanks, boss.
All right. And also, just so you know,
Not for me, thank you.
They wouldn't offer you a cigar in this day and age. It'd just be a long cigarette, like a holder.
Yeah.
Hence a sarcastic comment.
Yeah, cigarillo or something like that.
He just gives you a Larence gives you a smirk. That's it.
Also, nearby the door as well, there is an exchange for money for chips. It looks like this is a chip-based casino.
How much is it for like a stack of chips, like a small stack of chips?
Well, they come in denominations of like down to 50 or 25 cents, like because it's this day and age. So
I'm gonna.
So you can get like 4 25-cent chips for $1, etc. You know.
I can't remember what the levels are. I'm gonna put a moderate expense on chips.
Okay, yeah, you're affluent enough. You can do that. So that that's equivalent of like, I don't know, moderate. That'd be like
$10.
Yeah, so I would say like $20. $20 for a moderate expense. Like this is like a week's worth. This is like a big thing.
Yeah.
So you got like $20 worth of chips, kind of like in your hand.
Yeah.
Can I do the same? I also have to have a conversation after this with the Alderman.
With your own money for chips?
No,
Yeah.
I'll pay for hers. I'll cover the lady's expenses.
Yeah, say you can't afford 2 moderate expenses without too much trouble.
I think I can from my background.
I'm pretty sure you can have an extravagant expense, and that's like your once a week kind of thing. It's like an extravagant expense. So
While they're waiting for them, I pull out my lighter, light up a cigar, offer the lighter to Roman if he's not lit his already. Which I highly doubt he hasn't lit it already.
No, it interferes with the eyesight.
For a second, I thought Roman was going to be one of those guys. Who's just, no, you don't light it with a lighter. You get matches. You get
No, that's rival.
Yeah, like I have one of those. That's
Rival
why I
would say
have
that. Rival would look disgustingly at Larence and go, "You savage!"
I don't even
Larence
smoke.
doesn't
I don't even
have
smoke, and I
matches,
knew
so-
that.
Roman's just playing with a cigar cutter, looking at the blades.
Yeah, that's it. Also, he doesn't have matches, and butane lighters aren't a thing yet.
So set fire to the boat.
That works.
Well, butane lighters aren't a thing, but regular lighters certainly are.
Yeah, regular
Yeah.
lighters. Yeah.
But they are gasoline, and they influence the flavor of the cigar. That's why you don't use them.
Either way,
But,
Don't smoke, kids.
Anyway,
don't
I
smoke. Yeah,
want
definitely.
to go to. I think it's one of the easiest to make a show of it, but I need to establish my presence in this establishment. So I'm guessing the roulette, because you said the roulette table was on the first floor near the dance floor.
yeah, basically the big everybody kind of gets around and gets hyped up about it. Those games, those are
I
all
need to go
really
to
close
one
to
of
the front
those.
door.
I need to go to one of those. One.
Yeah, craps or
preferably-
roulette.
Yeah, there's a
craps
couple
is
of
dice,
each.
right?
Yeah, craps
That's
is the
more-
one.
no.
Is you never been to a casino? I'm assuming.
No, I have. I just
Okay.
I've not played the dice game because you've seen me roll dice.
Yeah, it's true. That's true.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's the one you that's the one you roll 2 dice and you're trying to.
Yeah,
you're-
and you've got to
trying
hit the
bet on
backboard, and
result.
it's sure.
Yeah. There's that.
I think I'm gonna go for the roulette. I'm gonna and be as showy as possible. Attract as much attention for eventually the lady to slip away.
Lawrence is
All
definitely
the way
like
21 black.
yeah. Lawrence is definitely like he understands bodyguard rules, so he's like a step away. That's about it though.
So you don't even have to roll for this. Both bodyguards, you notice as well. You're not the only people that are doing what you're doing tonight.
Yeah.
You can see at least 3 sets spaced around the establishment, like in various sections. And they notice you as well, because as bodyguards, or at least Roman definitely as a bodyguard, you would know the first thing you always clock is another bodyguard because they definitely have a gun. So you're like you're establishing and trying to work through threats and trying to clock those. So yeah, you're all kind of like
just
give you
like takes the cigar out, nod, puts it back in.
Yeah. So
Who are they guarding?
I mean, if you check, two of the sets are standing away from each other. They're not like intermingling, but they're near the same area, like in the back corner, where it looks like there's a separate like room that has a door closed to it. So maybe like a private, like a private gaming table, like a private. Since everything's cards, it looks like up there, maybe like a private game of like poker or something.
That's the high rollers table.
Yeah,
I will inform the alderman of that when it comes to my eyes.
And then another one looks to just be a set down near the dance floor. You can't necessarily clock who they're guarding because they're doing that the respectful distance back, and there's kind of just people dancing on the dance floor, so it could be anybody on there.
Just double checking the mayor's not here, right?
Go ahead and give me a. I don't know. Give me a mind observation check to try and see if you can.
Could I assist him with? Oh, he's already rolled the dice.
He's already rolled the dice.
Sorry.
If he was here, he'd probably be in the private room.
Yeah, the high rollers table if he's anywhere. But
3s.
No, there's a lot going on. It's kind of an assault of the senses,
Yeah, sure.
all at once. It's hard to.
I'm a man on a mission. I'm trying to make a scene.
Man on a mission. Yep.
Man on a mission.
All right. So yeah, you all are. I guess as a group, you go towards the roulette wheel, and the alderman starts betting and getting into the game. How long is Lena gonna like stay near? Like, are you waiting for like it to be kind of established and make a scene?
Yeah.
Or are you trying to like
Get the alderman established there. Do the usual girl thing of on the ball and giving him luck and doing all that nonsense. And then
That's impressive due to the fact it's dice, not a ball.
there must be something for roulette to the whole lucky thing.
Playing craps.
No, I'm playing roulette.
no? He's
Oh,
playing
no,
roulette.
that would get you kicked out for
Yeah,
punching
you
the
can't-
ball.
Yeah, you can't do that. Nobody touches the ball but the person who's at the person working it.
Well, in that case, I'm just going to be giggly and
Yeah, I was gonna say also
hype
that's,
up as well.
like that. Just mentally, that also I got to work out because there's like a major height difference between the two of you as well. That's like what the
What's the what? Yeah, well, it's a 6'4" tiger man, and
yeah, and a rabbit. It doesn't even have the benefit of her ears because at least your art like is floppy eared rabbits. So. Yeah,
There is literally like 6'4" rabbit, 6'2" dog, 5'9", 5'10" leopard, 2'4" bunny.
yeah.
She's not
This world
2
doesn't
foot
even have
tall.
like no, it's not that small. This world doesn't
No.
have like true size. Like it's not like Zootopia in that sense, but it's still pretty jarring because you guys all play freakishly tall characters.
It
all
will
the
be
time.
like when I actually meet Mikey.
Basically.
So yeah, you go ahead and you start. I'm gonna need you to make another body presence roll because you're trying to make a presence.
I'm helping.
I would like to argue will because it's will of personality, and it does say that as the phrase in the book.
Well, it can't be that, or it can't be just your physical presence trying to get somebody.
So I was gonna go for will presence because I'm being loud. I'm trying to jeer up the crowd.
I'll allow it.
Okay, better.
And somebody
you're
was
helping, Lena?
I was going to try to by basically laughing way too loudly at all
Well,
your jokes.
I'm trying to distract
would-
for you to escape, so maybe not.
Maybe.
And I don't think either of the bodyguards would be
No.
a smart idea to have doing that. So
So yeah, this is a solo roll, DC 2.
oh, there's one.
1.
And that's an 8.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, that's good. So yeah, you hold on.
I am the face character.
Yeah, no, that's true. That's true. Like, no, you start making a scene. You're trying to be like a life of a party, and you kind of like come in, like in the game. There's already like a couple of parties here playing, and you kind of just take over a lot of the presence at the table, and people are starting to. The thing is like you doing this actually makes this table more popular. Like, you know, when there's somebody who's interesting playing, other people come by and they're more likely to spend money. So nobody's stopping you. In fact, they're kind of encouraging it, and there's like, you know, they want that for these kinds of games. You don't win anything. You
I'm not.
You at best break even. I just rolled for that. So you at best break even with your money. But you know, it's kind of just the sheer like force of personality. Like when you win, it's great, and everybody's cheering. When you lose, everybody is kind of thing. Yeah. But it's not because you're winning a lot that people are there. It's because of just you as a presence. And you start noticing, even though Lena is there, at least for a portion of this, your sheer force of personality and the fact that you are who you are, definitely quite a few young ladies are starting to like, you notice like looking at you and not paying attention to the other woman near you that is specifically there as your date. So.
I am also gonna do as a thing as well. I'm accidentally, in air quotes, as a joke as well, gonna put one of my campaign buttons down as one of the chips on the thing. I'll be, how did that get there? Kind of thing.
Roman and Larence are just fucking
collectively eye roll.
Like,
collectively eye roll.
You lose more voters than you gain.
Yeah.
Lena,
worth it.
Yeah, Lena, I'm gonna need you to make a to be like unnoticed and slip away from this as much as possible, to the point where people aren't like checking you, especially in the fact that you are in an establishment that is known for being highly like based around surveillance and keeping an eye on every single person that is inside there. It's going to be a fairly high DC, but you're going to need to make I'm going to say probably a speed evasion check. Okay, that's a 1. Two successes.
I thought it was only 1. Scared then. I think it flipped over to another one.
Nope, it's a 7 and a 6. So that's 2 successes. Do you want to do anything? DC's 3.
Does she not get any assistance from the fact that I'm being a distraction?
Not DC 4. It's not. She's in a casino trying to sneak around a casino. It's an example of one of the hardest things you can do.
Fair enough.
Yeah. You could do luck. You got 2 dice that you failed.
I unfortunately cannot help you out, and it's really early in the session, so I don't really think we want to use luck already.
The only thing I've got is proud, and I don't know how to leverage that. I'm trying to think.
Yeah, not a.
It might help you in the consequences, but of the failure. But
all right. 5 seconds before these are set in stone.
Yep, I don't know what to do, so go for it.
Okay. All right. You get away from the table easily enough. Like everybody there is kind of infatuated with the Alderman, so that's not like hard. But you're trying to get away to the point where you can start snooping around the ship itself. The problem is, to do that, you've got to try and get past some guarded like doors and areas that are highly trafficked. Like there's a couple that you could get to, but as an experienced individual in these matters, you wouldn't be able to get past them without being noticed. There's options you could get past them with them knowing that you got past them and still being okay with it. Like there are ways you could like work your feminine wilds to get past, but they would know who you are. Like they got past there, so anything showed up missing or anything happened, it would kind of be a loose end in those areas. So you're not doing anything bad yet. Like it wasn't bad enough that you like that they just like aggro and start shooting at you. It's just more like, okay, this you can't get anywhere that's like useful with that role, at least with that specific role that you took. You were able to get away from the alderman and nobody like raised an eyebrow, but you are kind of now you have multiple roadblocks that you now have to use other things to try and get past them. Is kind of where you're at now.
Okay. So rather than that, because it was more information gathering that she was going to try and do, can she sort of just maybe have a dance around, maybe just visit upstairs, the card tables, and just keep her ears open as to any interesting conversations, anything like that?
Sure. I'll say that's not too hard. Yeah, you can go walking around, just kind of keeping an eye on, or keeping an ear out for anything. Yeah, you get to the where the stairwell is for the upper decks, and it looks like this the second deck is where all the cards games are happening.
Can she find the most lively looking blackjack table?
Yeah, that's not hard. That's just you kind of being perceptive of the tables. There's a few tables, and yeah, there's one that's more full than the others.
Traitor.
She's French, 21.
Statistically, blackjack is the one that makes you the most money in a casino. Like, greatest potential.
It also makes the casino the most money.
Well, all of them make the casino the most money, but they have a higher payout.
Not poker.
Not poker.
Well, that's why poker isn't really a popular casino-based game.
Yes, that's why everyone likes to play it.
So she's going to find a lively, and if there's any, basically she's going to try and flirt her way to some information.
Right, I assumed. Okay. I assumed. So you're looking for the you're looking for the liveliest blackjack table with the loneliest looking person.
Oui.
Okay. All right. I'll say for that specifically, you are going to need to roll something. You're going to need to roll a mind observation check to try. That's going to be like a DC 3. I'm going to say to try and find to get the perfect on that, but it's not like it's not a hard fail. So. Two. Okay. That's not too bad. So yeah, you look around. There are, let's say, 4 blackjack tables that are currently open. And they're all, there's not like a huge disparity between them in terms of like individuals who are playing at them. And you kind of, you take a gamble, with this episode. And yeah, but I'm dish. And you go ahead and like scope in on one individual who is at the table. And hold on, I've got to get I gotta get my random character generator to figure out who this is.
Better be a turtle.
Okay. No, there's a pigeon. That's it. There's a pigeon who is playing who is playing blackjack there by himself. And how do you begin? No. I know where you're getting that from. No. How do you start this? What's your...
Seduce me.
Seduce me. But in
I'm so
French
glad this is in black and white because I might go as red as my hat. Bonsoir, monsieur. May I join you?
Who? Oh. God, I can't get it out of my head. Damn it. That's another character from another game. I don't want to copy it, but that's the first thing my mind went to.
Just go with it. Just go with it.
Sure.
Embrace it.
Embrace it. Yeah, that's what all pigeons sound like.
Has the table been lucky this evening?
Not really. Just kind of, it's just a time. It's just shut up, Midge. I can see you on the camera. Just, Lady Luck's not always with you.
Well, what's your name? I am Lena.
Archie.
I love him.
This is my I have a random character generator. That's what it came up with. Archie the pigeon.
And what is it you do, Archie?
Oh, I sometimes entertain. I'm an entertainer, mostly.
Oh, what do you do? Are you a magician? Are you a singer?
Actually, yes, that's exactly that's his profession.
I hate this in so many different ways. Do I hate this?
Yeah, no, I'm. The fact that you guessed that immediately, that tracks.
Dove hat magician.
Yeah. No, I do magic on stage. Mostly. Sleight of hand.
I love magic. Oh. I think it's fantastic.
He's like flustered. He's that's never worked. To use what you get this stuff. It's literally like this is like the stereotype of just what you don't bring up in a day that you can do magic. Like that's like okay, no, it's I can do some. You want to see?
Of course.
Okay, this is wow. His stats are shit.
Oh god.
No.
I mean, it's like you don't reference Magic the Gathering just as much as Magic either. But here I am shuffling a Magic the Gathering deck whilst this guy's about to do some magic.
Yeah. Okay. Sleight of hand and magician. All right. It's 2d4. Oh wow. That's 2 successes.
Wow.
So surprisingly brought on by this, like, kind of the funny thing is, like, he's out of this hand, so he just goes like he takes out like a chip and he does like the standard like all right, keep your eyes on it, and he just like and he does like it's been so long since I've done magic, I can't even describe it. Of course I would be the one. He does just like a coin trick where he like it's out of his hand and he's like, so we're here, and there it like he does like it's a simple trick, like, but it's done very well, like surprisingly well for just like an on the fly like coin trick.
I'm just checking. Yep, bamboozled me.
Yeah, no, you did. No, it's actually pretty impressive. Like it's just like he did a trick, and. He's surprised that worked. Just, that kind of stuff mostly. Not really, not like a mentalist.
That was wonderful. And she's just piling out her chips.
Oh, that's a lot. He's got like three
Well,
dollars worth of chips in front of him.
between you and me, I had my chips paid for, but he seems to be having fun with far more than me, so I'm all alone now.
Okay, yeah. I could, show you around. You ever played before? And he just starts, and so we're just, so we're just going through. And yeah, you pretty easily are able to become this pigeon's +1 at this table, and just blend in perfectly to this. To this. So you're trying to, during this whole situation, you're trying to find out information, right? By just listening around, just keeping
I'm not going to learn anything from Archie the Magician, but I'm
you're definitely
listening
not.
around me.
Definitely. Actually, you know what? Give him a better than that. Fucking kidding me. All right, so yeah, give me a mind observation check just to like see if you hear anything. We'll get to what he just rolled in a second. 2. Okay. You hear a lot of various different things. This is like, the interesting thing is like, this is a high class establishment, the boat itself, just in general. The bottom floor and the top floor here, like the card floor and the regular like dance floor area, are also like a stratified section. Like once you get up to the card floor, that's where a lot of people, especially around like the poker tables, that are, they're higher class than even the people down at the dance section. Like these is where people like, oh, okay, you want to, oh, it's like where lawyers will come after work and they'll like hash things out while they're having a game or something like that. It's one of those things. You do see a couple of definitely the rooms that are off to the side, and there's like 4 on each side of the boat on this deck are private. 2 of them are unused, but you can kind of like see past them, and there's like you can see there's like a table with chairs and stuff in those rooms. They're like moderately large. It'd be like, yeah, you'd have your own personal like poker night there if you can afford it. It's like for high rollers. You spend a while kind of just passively looking around. I've had the dock stuff going for so long. Just hold on, I have something for this. But yeah, but you don't hear a lot when it's when you are just kind of like listening around. It's mostly like individuals just having small conversations here and there. Some high level conversations of you hear like a couple of lawyers hashing out like a property deal or something. But there's no like context to it. So I'm just trying to figure out if that's working or not.
I can hear it. It's very quiet.
It's weird.
Very quiet.
There we go. For some reason, it defaulted like 10% volume. So, but that's about all you really get. It's starting to get like a little ways into the night when because he rolled this, when Archie the Pigeon Magician, it hasn't been a great night for him here. You've lost you've lost a little bit helping him out because he's ran out a bit. He may be a magician, but he's not with the cards. He's a magician with the cards. He makes that joke like 5 times. It's like, you think I'd be better with this. That kind of thing. Yeah, it gets to the it gets to the point in the night though where he's like, well, I was just kind of passing time. I've got some things I gotta do. I've got to entertain. Like there's a big high roller game going on. I gotta one of the people there is really into magic, so I've got to like.
Oh, well, that's fantastic.
Yeah, it's kind of like it's a good.
Think I
Good break.
Come on. Could I be your assistant?
Oh, nothing I do needs an assistant. It's nothing I do is that involved. But yeah, you can come and just like watch. It's for like this really, it's for the owner of the.
Oh, that's wonderful.
Samuel Turner. Yeah.
Oh, I just want to see your whole show. That's all. That would be wonderful if I could come and watch.
I'm sure I can work it out. No, I don't have a lot of negotiating room. This is the first job I've had in a couple of months. So yeah,
Well, if you can, then
I'll
that
go
would
ask.
be wonderful. That would be wonderful.
Come on, ask. Yeah. So he's a fucking natural 20, son of a bitch. This sad character of everything, but he's rolling well. So I guess you don't need to be good if you roll high. So yeah. So what's going on with the rest of the party while this is going on? It's been like I'd say about an hour.
I stretched at one point.
Yeah.
Once I've made enough of a scene, I'm gonna kind of lean into the dealer.
Croupier.
I'll be croupier, yes.
Thank you, Rival.
And I'll be like, say, you won't be able to, introduce me to maybe your manager or someone in charge of the establishment. I have some.
Sir, it's the wheel does what it needs to do. We can't
no,
change
it's not
it.
a problem. I have some personal business that I'd love to attend to while I'm here. I'm having fun. I'm having a great time. You're doing a great. I'm gonna put a chip in like $1 worth of chips in his like waistcoat pocket as well, and be just like.
Okay, not supposed to touch the. All right. But your presence is so powerful.
I am manhandling the table essentially.
Yeah. Yes, sir. I can. It's the thing where he's like, where he kind of like waves to the floor boss, like to get like their attention. Just after a little bit, it's another tall cat, though much more lanky, like a cheetah. It comes up. Is there a problem?
Oh
no,
God, no! I'm having a.
Okay.
I've got to just instantly cut in. Just again, manhandling the table, manhandling all the situations, everything. His
I'm like
paws
somebody I
away.
hate. Just
Yeah.
like
I am the man that everyone hates. But I get stuff done.
Yes.
I'm having a wonderful.
That's why we
time.
keep you around.
I've got some personal inquiries. You may have heard of me. I'm Alderman Jack Andrews, and I was hoping to make some deals with your fine establishment and maybe talk to someone higher up. I've got a couple of parties coming up. I was hoping to hire croupiers and get something set up. Just fun stuff for a party event and other party supplies. I was hoping maybe you could introduce me to someone.
Well, sir, we offer you can have a party catered and run here on it's quite expensive.
I want it to happen at my estate. It's part of a fundraiser for an upcoming campaign. I know you may not, but I was wondering if the price was right. We could work something out with maybe an owner or an established manager. And
let me make a roll.
Make some kind of roll. Roll literally anything, Midge. It doesn't matter what.
What would you like? I have many a skill.
Definitely you trying to be like to establish this is the presence kind of or negotiation. I would say this is probably
Fast
negotiation.
Fast
So
talk
this
would
is
definitely be.
fast talk would work here.
So will negotiation fast talk? Is that what I'm hearing?
Yes.
Will.
It's one.
Oh, fuck. Crying out loud.
Ooh.
That's 2 ones.
That's 2 1s and a 3.
That's no successes. Do you want to use luck on this?
I don't
reroll
have
everything?
luck. I don't have the trait luck. That's
Oh,
her
you don't have
trait.
Right. That is true.
That's a bunny thing.
That's
I'm pretty
Yeah,
sure.
No.
you could theoretically use your personality if you wanted to.
yeah. I could try and use my ambition.
Vicious.
But even so, I have no success over it. So right now, so I'm gonna have to.
Well, if this is
Let me
an
tell you
opposed roll
this.
and they only make 1 success, and that success is below what you rolled, you still win. So
Oh, for fuck's sake!
1, 1, 2, 3.
Wow. Okay.
The
And he rolled a
statistic
1 and a 2
improbability of
on
that.
a D12. He rolled a 1
2
and a 2 on a
D12s.
D12.
A
That's
D8
2
and a
D12.
D6.
And a D6. Oh wow.
Fucking
Nice.
magician stole my rolls.
Don't you get Archie?
Hang on? Can I invoke bribery here?
Are you? Yeah, there you go.
I have a
are you-
D12 in bribery, and I would like to bribe this gentleman.
Are you trying to? Are you giving him money?
Hell yes.
So while this is going on and you're talking, he's getting progressively. You see his face just going less and less.
Yeah,
like
and then
listening to you.
I pull out a wallet book and just start flicking through cash.
Just let's do it for you. This.
Yeah.
Like, what?
So just a thing. So
2
bribery
bodyguards
allows,
just standing in the background, like
you know how to agree. So when using
Sure.
deceit, negotiation, presence, you may claim a D12.
Sure.
When
Sure,
offering,
we'll do that.
when offering someone a bribe that's illegal, if you fail your roll, you don't automatically offend the target. You don't automatically offend the target. You still suffer a bad opinion for repeated attempts, though.
Yep. So yeah, you can go ahead and we'll see. I will allow it.
What?
Oh! Oh my goodness.
He takes
Oh
the
my
money.
goodness.
He takes the $5 that you give him and just goes, "Right, sir. I'll be right on that. You just wait here." Puts that in his waist pocket and he just walks off.
FYI, trying to bribe casino staff, never a good idea.
Yeah,
No.
it's not necessarily illegal, but it depends on what you're asking them for. So that was a difficulty 2.
A 1,
no successes.
a 1, a 2, and a 3.
Wow. He's
A
got
one.
You
everything.
rolled
Oh,
1 on a
1,
D12
2,
twice.
This is statistically impossible, and I love
Well,
This is
Welcome
why
to
Midge does not play
Midge
craps.
Week.
yeah, that's why you didn't play craps, yeah. Except you roll D6s and craps. You don't even roll D12s.
Statistically average on my D6.
Yeah, that was the one. That was the one decent one. All right, so
That's the draw.
So yeah, he goes. He leaves you, and he told you like wait, and so you think that went well. So you kind of sit there for a little while, and you see him kind of like you lose line of sight for a minute.
I was gonna say, do the bodyguards see me flounder hard and step in
Yeah.
any way? Just-
You specifically said you took him off to the side. Like you took him off to the side.
I did that at the table.
You if you're gonna bribe him, I'm gonna say you probably
yeah.
didn't do that. You specifically gave him money to try and talk to his manager. So yeah, he breaks line of sight, and you do see him a few minutes later. And hold on, I gotta roll a couple of things here.
Oh God.
Yeah.
Okay. So while you're waiting, you are keeping an eye out for him, and you notice something. You notice on the second floor a person you recognize. Mr. Baron.
Oh.
Who is walking across to a corner room that already had 2 sets of bodyguards there. And so he goes in, and his set of bodyguards kind of does it. They're awkward because the other 2 sets are already on either side of the doorway. So now they have to, you can see them for like a split second. And they make a choice and go to one side, kind of a little bit away from the other bodyguards. Because you were looking at them, because you were looking for somebody specifically, and you noticed this, and he rolled very poorly on a couple of other things. I will say you have a lower DC for this observation check than you would normally have. So mind observation check. I just need you to do that while you're waiting for the bribe.
Ugh.
Fucking hell, Midge!
Oh wow.
Not been my day, guys.
I think Midge needs something stronger than what he's currently drinking, to be honest.
Wow. This is
1, 2.
this is statistically
3.
improbable.
Yeah, it's pretty impressive.
Oh, no, the 3 on the D4 is pretty okay.
Yeah,
That is true. That is better. Yeah, that's what you notice. You just notice those individuals going right. You don't know anything new. What you take with that information, what you will.
I'm gonna finger a Roman over and say Mr. Baron's here under my breath.
Yeah, I noticed.
Yeah, you totally saw that. Yeah, you totally saw it. You didn't even have to roll.
Good eyes there, boss.
The sarcasm just dripping.
Me and Larence clocked him on the way in.
Mm-hmm.
And over to the other group because you're still, or over to Lena. Lena, you and Archie, or well, you follow Archie. He's kind of yeah. You walk right alongside of him. Yeah. He's near your height. He's not a tall person. He's not a tall bird. But you can see he's wait here, and he kind of goes off to the side. And he talks with a couple people. There's a lot of like mean-looking individuals and like in pairs, like around this set of doors.
Almost like there's pairs of Romans and Laurences everywhere.
Kind of, yeah. Same kind of vein in that sense. I mean, you know what a bodyguard kind of looks like, and they look kind of like bodyguards.
I tried to avoid them.
Yeah. Actually, give me a mind observation check.
Oh, don't recognize one now.
Okay, you definitely succeeded what the DC was. So, especially because you're closer. You notice one set, both of them are wearing, they have blue accessories on their their pocket square and their ties.
I don't want Lena to go in there anymore, but she still does.
So you recognize that, and Archie, when Archie comes in, yeah, no, it's totally cool. You can come. Or no, they didn't. Yeah, no, you can come in. It's fine. They'll let you in.
I'll be good. I'll just sit in the corner and just watch your show.
Yeah, it's not gonna be long. It's just the person who specifically likes magic. He just got here and they just wanted like some entertainment.
Mr. Baron likes magic. That's what we learned today.
So yeah, you go in, and what you see are 3 individuals sitting at a table. One of them is a kind of like a kind of a heavier set raccoon. You've never met Mr. Baron, so you have no idea who he is. So, but yeah, just a heavier set raccoon. There, you see a badger who is like taken his suit jacket off, and he's just in his shirt and waistcoat. And he's got like he's like, it's hard to explain. Like, his suit is a patterned suit, with the primary color being like an off gray, but the accent thread like pattern being like a blue. You don't know who he is. And then an older individual who, okay, graying a little bit, just a moose, who looks to be like at the head of the table. It's a round table, but it looks like he's in like a position of more authority, mostly because he's the one looking at the door. So like they're like, none of them have their backs to the door, but he's the one like looking directly at the door from his seat. So it's kind of like that. And they're like in the middle of a game. It's just like, you know, it's this thing where the doors open and just wafts of cigar smoke come out. Like they're just smoking. They've got, funny enough, there are a couple of scotch glasses with amber liquid and ice on the table. You don't see a bottle, but it's there. And there's like this, I guess you would say like a big mean bodyguard who was just outside comes in. And he's like annoyed. he's carrying a chair that had originally been outside and puts it in a corner. And he like gives you it's your seat. Walks out, doors close. And yeah, is Lena just doing exactly what she says? She's just watching the
No, she is. Where would she know where she is? No, she would know the name Samuel. She heard the names. Archie said Samuel Turner, and she would flip that to the Turner gang. But what would I roll to know if she knows about the Blue Boys and what they wear?
You were there when they shot up.
Fair. So
Yeah.
I would recognize the blue.
Yeah. And also, I'm assuming like there's been some sort of information sharing arrangement going on, and like
before we
like
came
broad
here, we
strokes- like broad strokes, like.
But
You've
I
also
don't
been
know
helping try and
Midwestern.
gather information this last couple of weeks, you know. So you would have been familiar that, oh yeah, Blue Boys, you recognize them by the blue accents like they wear, and it's kind of like a
But
gang
I
identification.
wouldn't know which gang Mr. Barron belonged to because I've never met him.
No.
Okay. I'm going to listen to any conversation, trying to remember as much as possible, but just have a blank sort of at my face whilst I'm watching Archie. And then as soon as Archie's done, I will leave. So even if it's...
Okay. So yeah, what you see happening is so Archie like comes in and you can see like he goes off to the side for a second and he like takes out a couple of items and he's like gets his collar and stuff already, makes it lovely with presentable. I'm not gonna make Lena roll for this because he's very bad at everything. Like you can see that thing where he's doing like self-actualization for a couple of seconds where he's like, okay, you can do this. You can do this. This is good. Yeah, you got this. So while that's happening, like they're not being like super like quiet about between themselves. Like this is from kind of what you get. Like they might think you're like a call girl or something because they're not paying attention to you. It's like you're a part of the like the scenery at this.
I'm playing the party girl, if that makes any sense.
Yeah, so they're not paying attention to you, and you can start like you came in, they got quiet for a second, and you saw everybody but the raccoon kind of like roll their eyes when they saw Archie coming in, and then they went back and they start dealing again. And the person in blue, and I'm just going to do this for the benefit of the scriptures here. Lena doesn't know this, but the blue boys representative, he's taking his cards, he's looking at them, and he just got really again. I like this. It's interesting. It's fun. Just like takes the size, takes a sip of his drink. I said, maybe you should try and get a hobby. And like Mr. Baron like turns slightly and goes, all right, boy, let's see what you got. Okay. Like he starts going into his act, which is all just sleight of hand tricks. Like he's got like a decks of cards and stuff. Definitely, you definitely see he's taking pains to make sure those cards don't go anywhere near the table's cards. Just so like he's doing that. Like he's used to doing this. You know what? Let's just roll Archie. I'm just gonna do that. He has 2d4. Let's see what he gets. 2 1s. Okay, so that's about on par. That's about on par.
That's a critical fail.
That's a critical failure. Yeah, that's a critical failure. So
Archie.
during this whole thing, it's bound to happen. He's so bad at everything. I thought this is a cursed character this generator made. So I was this close to regenerating it. Yeah, he goes into his spiel, and for like a little while, he looks like he's doing okay. Until Mr. Baron, the raccoon, starts calling out how he's doing the tricks. And he's having fun doing that. Like this one-on-one. It's like you get the sense Mr. Baron is probably an individual who's seen a lot of card tricks and a lot of sleight of hand tricks and everything like that, and he finds them interesting. So this is why he likes this. And it goes into this descending kind of thing where he just goes, "Oh yeah, that's you're right, sir. Yeah." Just, all right, moving on. And like Archie like throws that coin over his shoulder, and like Art throws that thing over his shoulder. All right, next one. He just starts going, and he's doing really well playing it off like that's, oh yeah, no, it doesn't bother me at all, but it really does. And like say that goes on for like 5-10 minutes before Baron goes, all right, take a break. I'll just prep over there. We'll maybe in a little bit, kid. It's like Baron got bored. Right. Okay. Yeah. I'll rethink a lot of things. And he just goes over to the corner. He's just like, how did he do that? What is like talking
That was wonderful, Archie.
Oh God. Yeah. Sorry. I forgot you were here. It normally goes a lot better than that. It's, he's good.
It's usually better than that?
Yeah. Yeah, it's good. It's good, yeah.
I'm gonna try and cheer him up.
Aww.
Oh. So yeah, that with all that's happening. What's the rest of the people doing in the casino?
Roman stretched again.
Yeah, bodyguarding. Yeah.
Do we move to the table nearest the door up there?
No, because Baron knows who you are.
Baron
He'll
does,
see
so
you and
he's the one that
he'll see
assigned
you
us to this job.
yeah, he'll see you and straight away be like, "What the fuck are you doing here? Not solving my problem." You know,
He won't openly for that.
The Blue Boys might know me, considering I killed 2 of their men, and I stand out. I don't imagine there's very many people in this like casino roach who have visible face scars.
Oh no, you get looked at from like across the room.
Yep.
Like no, that's like immediately. You just immediately
like,
clock
Ping! That motherfucker right there.
The odd thing is that like some people don't. It's not like disgusting. You see quite a few ladies that are like, just like, that's like
I mean,
Dipstick
he doesn't
scars.
mind that. I mean, he doesn't mind the looks. It's just, he would know that it gives him away. So
And also, definitely, it hasn't like people noticing the Alderman has not stopped, even when you've stopped playing it up. Like you have a lot of potential suitors who are coming to you, and it's like, would you like to dance? Like they're you're a eligible bachelor in a position of power with money. You are
You are all of the Willa points. Just tick,
like,
tick, tick.
check,
Job done.
check.
Yeah. Yeah. Job done.
Or go for launch.
Nice. Roman, any ideas?
What? His love life? No.
I didn't ask. Well, I'd well, fair. Maybe pick one that won't kill you in your sleep.
In this office?
No, fair.
I don't know
Personally, I
whether...
think we should take it upstairs.
Yeah, I think we should go to nearer to one of the table, nearer to the door. Really go take a table nearer the door.
All right, yeah, you can definitely do that. That's not going to be a problem. You can head up. There is a poker table right next to the door. Not right next to it, but close enough that you have pretty good line of sight on the door.
And I'm gonna be it's just like, because the table might not have anyone on it. It's just like, I'm gonna go play some cards. Anyone want to join us? On the table that I'm already at.
You get a mean look from the person running the table, but yeah, you get a couple of people say, yeah, let's try our hand. Yeah, and so 3 or 4.
The guy at the top table's like, this motherfucker.
You taking my business? What's going on?
Yep.
So yeah, you head up, you set up a game, and you start playing. Yeah, it's like Roman. Roll a body presence check.
Could I assist?
This isn't something you'd assist with.
Cool.
Five.
So
Oh, you have no
success.
presence? That was it?
5.
Okay. Well.
Presents.
Yeah, presence. It's right
Yeah.
by the
Oh,
bottom.
didn't see that one down there. Sorry.
Yep.
6.
Hey, 2 successes. Much better.
Somebody's rolling good.
Rolling
this
up.
one.
I stole Ridge's soul.
Mine now.
Look,
So
I rolled 5 dice. None of them were over a 3.
Yeah. So what you are noticed immediately by all of the bodyguards who are bodyguarding that door. You have a reputation, and so immediately.
A reputation? Is this a good reputation or a bad reputation?
Depends on which side of that you're on.
It depends. It depends on a lot of things.
The Jack
It's
to
an Elliot Spencer from Leverage kind of reputation. That kind of reputation where it's like, shit.
Probably.
They immediately like you come up and you're now they're closer so they can recognize you, because before they would like clocking you like, okay, that's a set of bodyguards down there, that's a set of bodyguards, okay, yeah, threat analysis there thing. Then you get closer and it's like double
Fuck.
take at you, and like you can see like the ones who were like leaning, or there was one that was just smoking, like leaning against the railing of the upper floor, and he like gets up and they like. They're more like, oh, okay,
You're
this is
here.
a thing. This is a thing we've got to deal with now, and they're just like keeping an eye on you, and you're keeping an eye on them. So it's
Are any sweating?
no, the ones who have sweat glands, no,
Are any panting?
no,
Have any urinated?
no,
Maybe.
no,
Defecated.
none of that. None of that. You
One
can't tell
peacock
the
is
ones
just-
who have sweat glands in their feet. You can't tell about that. So.
Well, they're not slowly standing in a puddle.
Yeah, no. But it's like clocking you. They're keeping an eye on you. I'd say probably like Larence it takes like a couple of seconds for you to notice them noticing Roman, and they're more concerned about him than they are you. It's like,
I'm fine with this.
yeah, but so you've got like essentially at this point you have 4 sets of bodyguards all within 30 feet of each other who are not partaking. It's like nobody can miss this. Like if somebody like looks up,
this like the tension in that area of the area of just general.
Yeah, if somebody looks up from their from the lower hall and they just see this, like, what the hell is going on there? It's just like 4 sets. We're all nearing each other, and like they're all uneasy about each other, kind of going on. I think the biggest thing that's going on that you notice as well is they take they look at you like, okay, you're a problem. If something sparks off, that's going to be a problem. It gets even worse when they like look at the door and they see that the person you're guarding is not going to the place they're guarding, like they might have expected you to do, and that's something you notice immediately. What you do with it, I don't know, but you immediately clock like, oh, they expected you to get closer, and so like after a few minutes when you don't, they kind of like wind down slightly, they ease down a little bit, but they're still more at attention than they were before. Like before, this was like something they weren't too worried about, like the others there. Like they thought, oh, I can handle them. But yeah. What is does Roman have any like what's the dice Roman has in observation? Do you have any?
In observation, I have 2 D6s and a D8.
I'll say since you have more than 2 dice, I'm not even gonna make you roll it. You definitely also notice there's 2 guards that are blue boys. Because they're wearing unnoticeably blue attire. Kind of like ease them out. So that's another thing you notice. Whatever you do with that.
I have a little chat with my boss. You know, when he's finished stuffing his face.
Well, it is break time, so there is that.
It is.
It is.
It is time for our break. So we will continue this conversation after our break. So use this time, grab yourself a drink, stretch your legs, and we'll be back very soon. Welcome back, everybody! Sorry for the slightly longer break. We all needed a little more refreshing than we thought we would. But we are bringing... Oh, that was brilliant. That was... I timed it so, like, in the playlist, a stinger came up, so there was, like, a 15-second, like... Do-do-do-do-do-do. Wow.
Well, now you can't say that you planned that. Now acknowledging that, you make it less magical.
But, we're
Right,
back. We're
what kind
in
of
the
distance is you
casino.
getting to the shops?
And... Not wrong. We're also laughing at
An hour
American
drive.
distances.
An hour drive to me to go shopping.
Ridiculous.
Living in Nowheresville.
I crossed through
Nowheresville
2
is-
counties in that time.
I can't even get out of mine.
But we're in the casino.
Yes, we are. We ended it off with some knowledge being imparted on your bodyguards and them sharing it with you. That's how we ended off there.
Well, they're about to share it with me.
They're about to share it with you, but I'm assuming that share.
Boss?
Mm-hmm.
You may want to make moves to get into that room behind us.
With my rolls, are you really thinking that? So, okay. Looking at the bodyguards, the collection of,
Oddly crude, yes.
are there any that look like they belong to the establishment?
No, none of them have uniforms or anything that would say they're like they work for this casino. No. But again, remember the casino is a front operation that is its own legal entity.
Have we noticed any that are Turner gang? Because this is a Turner establishment, right?
Yes, it is. But the problem with the Turner gang is they don't have as many discernible symbols for their outfit. They're much more. You gotta
Look,
know.
The problem is, if I walk in there, there's a chance I get shot. And isn't that a little too obvious that we're skulking around the place, that an alderman who has been hired by one of the officers just walks in and goes,
Sometimes the
"Oh,
best
I'm
place
sorry."
to search is the place in plain sight.
Yeah, true. Very true. Very, very... I mean, the guy who hired us is in the room, so at least he wouldn't shoot us. Miss La Pan is in there, but I don't know that.
Nope.
For me to just go in and be like...
Horribly coordinated operation.
See, I could get myself... I would have got... the thing is, luck has not been on my side today. So I naturally probably
It can't
would
get
have
any
gotten
worse.
in there. Yes, it can. I can die.
Maybe.
Jack is ambitious. He's not stupid.
All I'm going to say on this
Fine
is that
line.
Larence is just listening and just being like super quiet because he just knows this is a bad idea.
It's a fine line between ambition and stupidity.
No, I feel like... Okay, here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to go ahead again and try and make enough of a presence here.
I'm splitting the party again.
No. I'm at the table.
Okay.
I'm making enough of a presence here at this table that someone investigates, and possibly I get invite to the table.
Oh, so you're just being obnoxious. That's what it is.
Again, yeah.
Just trying to be obnoxious. Okay. What is that roll? That would be
Will presence?
No, this is definitely body presence. You're not. This isn't willpower. You were trying to be loud. You're not trying to be magnanimous or anything. Like you were trying to be a presence, body presence.
That's my body roll.
All right.
And can I invoke my fast talk as well?
Listen,
Or
you're
not?
not negotiating with anybody.
Sure.
It doesn't really work there.
Well,
okay.
that's a 6.
That's a 6.
It's his first success in a while.
It is. Just let me check here, and if this rolls well, then you can add a 12 to this. Add a d12. For the rest of the people at the table.
That's a 12.
Okay. So while you yourself are not that loud, you are able to keep the energy high from the roulette table and bring that to a poker table, which shouldn't happen, but you have. But you have done this. Normally
the
poker,
party, baby.
not a loud game, not one that has like not one that's usually like rowdy, but you've somehow managed it.
Which bloody poker tables have you been at?
Definitely ones that have none of the public ones that I have been to have been very loud.
Yeah, that's been my experience as well. Not most of them that are actually
Tournament
in a
poker
casino.
is quieter than snooker.
Yeah, no,
Pub poker might be rowdy, but
no. Like I've had loud poker. I mean, like our family reunions, all the guys get together and we do like penny poker. We just have pennies and we're just playing poker. It's just between all the family members. Those get rowdy. Those get rowdy, and there's been a couple of fights, but it hasn't. But that's different. That's different. Hey, if you do well, you can make it back out of there with about $10-15 you didn't walk in with. If you're good.
You see, for some reason, all I'm imagining in my head is just like a dude from like south part of America dressed in like a full like Confederate general uniform, saying something like "You friend my honor, sir," as they like get into a slap fight or something. I don't know why.
Nix the uniform, put on like a just have a tank top with.
I mean, fair, yeah.
Yeah, with a trucker hat. So yeah, very loud. You just keep that energy going in a public environment, and okay, shouldn't work.
Do I hear them outside?
Yes, in fact, you do, because by sheer virtue of spatial geometry, they're on the other side of the wall you're sitting at. So they get so loud that the individuals who are having their game, and you're just kind of sitting there with Archie, and Archie's just waiting for his chance to shine again. And like, he's like, I got this. I got it. I know what I'm doing now.
You do have this, of course you do.
I'm gonna do it. Yeah. Yeah. Around that point, it's just like a loud rowdiness, like coming in through the walls, and it's like it takes a couple of minutes because the three people playing are just kind of tuning it out. And after Archie stopped doing his act, they've gotten a bit more quiet because they recognize there's two people in here that technically shouldn't be, but they're just kind of. It's been very much just a poker game with some like back and forths. You don't know them, so you wouldn't necessarily know they are mob like bosses that are having a game right now.
Red knows what's going on. Lena has no clue.
Yeah, but it gets to the point where the guy in blue, the blue boy leader, just go, "What is that? Somebody stop them! Somebody go out there and get them the hell out here!" And it's like he's legitimately angry. It's like he's a badger, so he's already like his general anger level is above ambient all the time. But
if he was a honey badger, I would agree.
He is a honey badger.
He gives no fucks.
I'm not talking about it. The
cute European badger.
Yeah, European badger. No, it's barely a badger.
Not the black and white one that we had as a pet at the football club my dad runs. That
this
ride
one.
In the tractor
no, one
with us.
that. Yeah. No, one that like hunts bears. Like
that one.
Yeah. Yeah. Like a honey badger. Yeah. Yeah, he's that. So he's got a lot of, he's like Napoleon syndrome because he's not tall. He's very small. He's about on par with like your height, Lena. But he's very built. The outburst happening. He's going, all right. And you see the guy at the head Samuel, he goes ahead and he takes a bell out and he rings it. A couple of seconds later, the door opens. Individual who looks like one of the bodyguards that was out there, but seems to be for him. Yeah, boss. See what that noise is and stop it. What's going on out there? Well, there's a big government guy. I don't know. One of the other boys, he said he was an alderman or something for north side of the city. And Lena sees key in. There can't be that many aldermans here. But you also notice that Baron rocks back and goes, Alderman? What?
I want to not be here.
I'm gonna point out the sheer amount of just falling into good things in this entire encounter.
It's very noir.
It's
nothing else. It's very noir.
It's insane.
It's exceptionally noir.
This is like a 1920s silent film, just going well, how do we get them together? Just do this, but that doesn't make it. Just do it. Just do it. It doesn't matter. So it's a convoluted script. All right, I'll see who it is, boss. I'll see who it is. Couple of seconds, them just not continuing the game, and over outside, you see one of the bodyguards comes over.
Roman steps between him and the alderman.
Hey, buddy, not looking for trouble. What's your name, sir?
Is this to me?
Yes. He knows who Roman is. Yes.
I turn to him. Alderman Jack Andrews, how can I help you, citizen?
I just need to know. There's somebody. You're making a lot of noise. Just keep it down. Kind of.
I'm just trying to breathe some life into the establishment. Okay.
I'll be right back. He's not wearing a uniform for the place.
Yeah.
So, comes back. I'm trying to. I hate the fact that both of these groups are 5 feet away from each other, but they can't hear things going on. So back. Comes back. Lena, you hear this? Just an Alderman Jack Andrews is out there. He's having a party or something. Jack Andrews, what is he doing here? You see the raccoon at 1,000-yard stare for a second. Don't know. We don't know. I'm gonna have to do rolls between NPCs for a second. This is captivating.
Truly the most entertaining part of any game.
All right. Well, that's a 1.
Ooh,
Okay.
baby.
All right. So, Lena and everybody else in the room. Well, Lena definitely, because you have a very good high natural observation score. Everybody else rolled very well, but Baron did not roll well. They know he's bullshitting. He doesn't know. He's just the one that the moose at the head of the table just goes, "Hey, Carl, have him come in. We'll invite him to the game. Let's see. You show up? Oh, all right. Comes back out, walks back over.
Roman gets between him and the alderman again.
Yeah, buddy, I get it. Mr. Andrews,
Alderman,
whatever. Proprietor is inviting you to his game.
Well, if the proprietor is inviting me, I best join him. Friends, I am sorry. I'm gonna have to leave you. Have a lovely one.
Just everybody
Hey, if you see my name on any ballots, remember who to tick. And
it's low laughter coming through the crowd and around there. Yeah.
Larence is just happy to be away from that for a minute. Just.
So.
Lena is gonna shrink back into the corner because she knows Andrews can't see shit, so hopefully he won't notice her.
Yep.
Fair.
Okay, this is good.
Don't move. They can't see
no
you
one
if you
else
don't
smell
move.
burning fur?
No, actually, I don't.
So, Jack, you're led by this bodyguard like to the door, and he doesn't follow you in. He just like leads you to the door. And then he's in there, and he like looks. This guy looks back over to the two guards. It's just the people playing. All of us got to stay out.
Boss.
Them's the rules. Them's the rules.
Roman's staring daggers through this guy's chest.
I just work here.
Get between me and my protectorate. You may die here.
Larence looks exceptionally casual. He's just standing there, just casually.
A chair. Get a chair.
I'm
Move.
good.
It's a rail to lean on.
Move.
Guys, nobody else can go in there. It's just the bosses.
No, I'm
And-
standing next to the
and-
door.
Oh, yeah, you could do that. Yeah, no, we can move.
Lawrence, take the other side.
You could do that. We can move. Yeah, this is good. Yeah.
Larence takes the other side of the door, leans up against it with what's left of the cigar. Like,
So the Alderman, you walk in, and what you are greeted with is I'm gonna guess in order of surprise. In order of surprise. In order of surprise. For some reason, Lena is here, sitting next to a pigeon, who is like shuffling a deck of cards, and he's like pulling it, and like for splits, he pulls it out. No, that ain't working. And he's like going back through there.
I'm helping Archie, but I flick my eyes up at Alderman and just.
So this like order of surprise, you scan there, you start going to the right, you see a honey badger who looks perturbed and is wearing blue. You see a large graying moose individual who seems to be like leading the table and is looking directly at you. And on the other side, you see Mr. Baron looking mortified that you are here. And we will cut over to the old docks because it's been a while since we've gotten there.
that is a perfect slapstick
Perfect.
moment. Just cut.
Perfect. All
I
right.
just want to say, gentlemen, and then it cut.
Yeah, Mr. Brand's just like, oh god. So Harry, you're dressed up as a vagrant, in the middle of an abandoned dock area, and you are trying to find some sort of operation that you have been told to go here and check while everybody else did something. They must be having a great time. They're on a gambling boat. It couldn't possibly be bad. And just get to the actual docks. Where there's not a lot of music. So, Harry, you're in the old docks along Juniper Walk. The city has been, when this was originally set up, there were a lot of things that were different about this area. One, this was before the direction of the river had been changed when this was originally set up. And two, the new docks that had been established closer to the end of the river didn't exist at that point. So for a long period of time, this was kind of the heart of the fishing and river barge operations in and out of the city. But now, it stands mostly abandoned. Every so often, you'll see like a little family-owned barge or fishing boat still at the docks here. But all of the larger company-owned boats, this isn't a stop they make. They go right on past it, they go to the new docks, or they stop before here to another settlement along the river that has a train stop, and then it goes on train all the way where it needs to go. A lot of the buildings are old and abandoned along the river edge here. There's not a lot of people that still walk in this section of the city, in between these old rotting wood buildings. On the riverfront itself, most of the older ships have been broken down. With some of them, only the keels have been left partially still in the slipways. Kind of just not worth it to break them down any further when this was kind of in the transition period from being shut down. Roll a mind observation check.
That's one success.
Okay.
That's two success.
Okay. You spend a bit of time. It's starting to get late into the day. The sun's just barely up at this point. And we've come back to you. And there's not a lot of people around. It's not like this whole district is abandoned. It's mostly just that the dock side, like the river side, is just there's nothing here anymore. So a little bit ways in, you can still see like some smokestacks that are still operating from like maybe some local like factories, etc. That look to be still active, but within about a half mile to a mile of the riverfront, things to really start dying out in terms of activity. But you're able to spot about midway down the old docks, there's an old boat that's still docked to one of the keys. It's an old like river paddle steamer. More modern than the type that the casino we were just at is trying to emulate. But still, riverboat. Like a big steel paddle that was meant to propel this thing. Looks to be, at one point, was probably set up for like cargo. Or like just like a step up from a barge kind of thing here, maybe like 2 decks above the river line or the water line. And you were able to notice there's some small amount of white smoke coming from its stacks. What would you like to do?
I'm gonna go get a closer look.
Okay. Why don't you go ahead and roll for me, just so we can check here. Roll a, I'm going to say speed evasion check.
I would like to leverage my stealth gift.
Sure. That would totally work.
Do I roll stealth instead of something, or is it in addition again?
It's in addition.
Jesus.
Wow.
3 successes.
Almost max on every die. So, you're able to get fairly close to where this is lashed to the docks. This old boat looks to have seen better days. Most of the paint's kind of worn off or peeled off. It's metal bits rusted. If you weren't looking closely, this would look like an abandoned boat that was just kind of rotting. Maybe forgot before being broken down or taken to a slipway to be broken. But you can see its nameplate's has been taken off at some point on the side that you can see. and poorly painted in white paint. You can see the streaks of white paint that from when it was painted on. It's just called Old Bessie. As you observe for a little while, at first it looks abandoned. Nothing's really going on. But the longer you look, the easier it's to tell that's not the case. It's a facade. As you can see, every so often, the telltale signs of somebody inside going from one window to another, the odd, louder voice cutting through the air for a second. Light, very minutely poking out, view of the portholes here and there. And you can also tell the gangplank that connects the ship to the dock. Which is odd. If it's abandoned, shouldn't have a gangplank on there. Nobody would have fallen off at some point. But this looks to be kind of set there in place, and it looks to be a heavy-duty gangplank, like for taking a lot of weight. Brand new. It actually clashes very heavily with everything else around it. Can't get any closer though. As you sneak up, you are greeted by a fence that has been erected around this section of the docks. I'll say with that observation roll as well, you can tell this is a new fence. Maybe a couple months old.
You said that there's white smoke coming from this riverboat steamer.
You were only able to tell because it's at this point in the day, and it's very small. But you had a decent observation, and you saw like the sun going.
Do I notice any particular smells? Anything that doesn't seem right for a dock? Because I've been around docks enough with my character. I'm living right up against the cheap docks. So I know the right smells for a dock, and if that thing's producing a smell other than what a steamer paddler should be producing or a dock should have, I would notice.
I would say this one of the big things though about docks is that a lot of the smells they do emit are very overpowering.
This is true, but
you know,
having
fish,
what I'm trying to
salt,
say is
brine. Yeah, no, I get what you're
I'm
saying.
trying to say is having actually, unfortunately, there's a Tate and Lyle facility like slap bang in the middle of London for some ridiculous reason in Poplar, and yeah, you can fucking smell that burnt sugar smell, which I'd assume you'd get something similar from a brewery with, you know, that there's particular smells that you would get with a moonshining operation.
The Everard's Brewery in Leicester, where they used to have their brewery, I can tell you, in the middle of summer, you can smell the hops being used.
Yeah,
like,
yeah, and I worked at Baird's Malt as well. It has a very distinct smell. So that's what I'm trying to leverage, that these places, they have very distinct smells that are just as overpowering as garbage.
Yes.
Yeah. So
I would agree with him on that one, totally.
Yeah, I would say this would probably be this would be like another observation check. It's a probably just another mind observation because you're trying to compare, you're trying to take in what you can. I don't think you can I don't know if you'd be able to leverage anything else on that, but I definitely say a mind observation check to try and discern something that's odd.
I mean, the only unique trait I've got is fox. Like,
that's already all your skills have that taken in. Yes,
I'm trying to think of something, and no, I haven't got anything that I can actually specifically say to. Okay, so mind observation, yeah.
Yep.
1 success.
You might get it either way. You roll very well.
2 success.
Okay. It's hard because this is one of the things though is you are correct about that, but that's an industrial scale operation. This wouldn't necessarily be on the same par with that. If it is in fact that operation, and this is a very old abandoned dock. So it's just like anything that was left here has been here for like a while, and you know, you would like if you haven't been around it for a while, like garbage that has been left doesn't necessarily decrease in its smell. Like even it takes a couple of years for that to like go away. Like for a lot of things. Fish is a great example because fish will just keep smelling after a while. That kind of like that'll like soak into concrete kind of smell. But I'll say there is something there. It's right underneath. It's right underneath the conscious like this is definitely odd. Like you could place it, but there's something odd about what it's giving off, and it's not a lot either. Like you're just getting wisps of white, maybe smoke or steam through those stacks. It's very minor. Like you only got it because of the sun going through them at that exact time, or else it would have kind of blended in with the sky. But there's something up here. Something is being done on that boat, from what you can get. It's you're also a decent amount of distance away. Like this fence kind of blocks you from getting anywhere closer unless you try and go through the fence, go into the water to go around the fence, or find another way in.
So, sorry, the options again: around, through, water, right?
You could, well, you haven't like gone around the whole fence, so you don't know where, like, if there's an entrance or anything to it. Right now, you're just on one side. You could try going through it, like going over it or something like that, but that has a chance of, being discovered. You could.
Yeah.
It doesn't go into the water that far, so you could definitely just go into the water and swim. But again, there's not a lot of cover in the water, but it is getting dark, so it's kind of a, it's up to you how you want to recce this.
I'm gonna keep heading along and see if there's like any other entrance to the fence then, rather than try and break through,
Okay. I'll say you spend a little bit of time going around. You can see that there is an entrance to the fence, but it is right near what looks to be like the old dockmaster shack that would have been like in charge of this section of the dock. And you can tell that is occupied because there is light being emitted through its windows. And and you even see people come out every so often and like look around, or they'll leave and go to the boat, and somebody else will come back and go into the shack. But there's people in the shack, and that's right next to like an opening in the fence that looks to be like a gate that can open. Wide enough. It's right on a street, and it's wide enough for like trucks to come in. And there's enough cleared space on this old dock side that they could theoretically like get a truck in there, turn it around, and like load it. If like there's enough space, it's like an automatic space has been cleared in this section.
Okay. So it's got that main entrance. I don't think I want to risk trying to get through the main entrance. That'd be a dumb idea.
Wouldn't be the worst thing that happened tonight.
Yeah. No, it's a dumb idea. I can't be continuing a bad record of tonight's activities. You're saying it's going to be dark soon. How soon is soon? We're talking
I'd say by the time
hour?
you get to. I'd say by the time you get to that, you recce like the fence, it's dark. It was right at the edge of like light dark kind of in that area when you arrived. So definitely dark at this point.
I'm going to head back up to where I was and then attempt to go over the fence, given the cover darkness.
Okay, what was that? Sorry, I had a.
So I'm going to go back up to where I was originally, away from this main entrance, and then attempt to sneak over the fence. Could I leverage sabotage as a means of like getting my way through this fence?
I'd say probably not. Stealth would work though. Unless that's something that, unless it's.
Yes, I'll try and. I don't know. Like, yeah, I've already used it.
Well, it should say if it's not like a recharge or something whenever you put it on there. That's why.
The only one that has a recharge is because of balance reasons, luck. That's the only one we've set a recharge to. If you can weigh something, you can weigh something.
Ah, there we go.
Then you can use stealth.
Okay.
This
Yes.
would be a speed evasion with stealth. Oh wait.
Ooh. Oh, that's one. And two. Two success. With one tie.
So, do you kind of find a spot on the fence that's right near, I would say, like a low shack that had once maybe stored like a family, like businesses, like fishing businesses, like stuff. It's low enough that you can easily like get onto a crate and then get onto the roof of that, and kind of like almost launch yourself over the fence and onto an opposite roof, and then lower yourself down. Is kind of what you do. That way, you notice the fence is new here. Because it's so new, there's nothing to like gum up the sound of metal on metal if you rattled it. There's not enough like grime to really keep that sound down. So by doing this, you can try and get around that. So get up, you launch yourself, and then grab onto the opposite roof without too much trouble. There's still a little sound from the sound of like just the actions on the roofs because there's all very old buildings that haven't been cared for in a while. But you think you did well. You didn't have a sound of like a chain link rattling like in the middle of the night. So you're now on the opposite side of the fence. You're on the ground. There's maybe 2 rows of buildings between you and the clearing that leads to both the dockmaster's shack and the gangway that goes, in the dock that goes to the gangway to the boat.
Okay. Is there any windows to those buildings so I can have a little peek inside, see if they're storing anything?
Not as many as you would hope, but they're so old. There's a lot of holes in the buildings. I'd say maybe not as many windows, but there's a lot of peepholes you can use if you need to. So I wouldn't say you couldn't do that.
On my way towards closer to the boat, I'm gonna have a little peek in these buildings, see if I can see anything.
Say not a lot for the first set you go through. If you're trying to use the buildings as like covers, so you're going building to building. Though you definitely get to like the grove buildings nearest the clearing that they've made. Those look to be more well cared for. Like the floors have been cleaned recently, and you can see the buildup of dust that you would expect has been disturbed in a lot of these in the section of this like warehouse, this old warehouse. Nothing's in there now, but definitely looks like at some point something was stored here and maybe taken out, or it was recently cleaned or something.
Okay.
But you get to the wall looking over the boat, and that's in like the clearing and shack. What do you want to do? Just observe for a period of time, or you're just trying to gather information? Okay. How long do you want to stay here?
Just say maybe about half hour, something like that. Not too long. Just enough to see if there is any sort of regular activity. I'm not going to sit here for hours and hours. I risk myself. Just enough to see if there's any regular activity.
You spend a half hour just like looking, keeping an eye out. There's definitely people on the boat. Because every so often you'll see like maybe 1 or 2 like get onto the deck, and they'll like be smoking a cigarette away from the actual like superstructure of the ship. They'll be on like either the front or back, like as far as they can be. They'll like light up and smoke. Give me a mind observation check for your time there, just to see if you spot a few things.
6. Oh no, double ones. Snake eyes.
Well, hey, that's not bad though, because you got a 6 on the first die. If that was all ones, that would have been a problem.
Yeah.
No problem. Okay, so you get a few things. All right, so yeah, you see those people getting like going out smoking. After like a half hour, you also hear like you can kind of like you adjust to the ambient white noise of like the area you're in, because you know there's a point in time whenever you get used to things going on around you, and you can pick out odd noises that aren't native to like the ambient, and you can pick up there's music coming from the boat, but not like live music, like a tinny radio playing some music. Every so often as well, you see like what you assume to be like a shift change or something at the old shack. Like they are like looks like 2 are in the shack. They get relieved by another 2 and they leave. They go, and you also see an individual, kind of a tall looking deer that has just he's like missing part of his right ear. Like it's just gone, like distinctive. So you pinpoint on that. And it looks like maybe he's in charge of something. He looks to have authority. He looks to have authority in this operation. And really close to when you're about ready to leave, you hear the hum of a somewhat large truck engine, like coming closer and closer. And then 2 people in the shack, they manhandle this gate open, and the truck rolls in. Kind of like parks. From what you can see, it's a like unmarked's the wrong word, but non-distinctive truck. Just rolls in. It's like it's got a covered. It's not a flatbed.
Doesn't have any company markings, basically.
No company markings, but it is like it's like a box back. Like it is enclosed 100%. It's meant to transport things. And the guys in the shack help get some wood planks and together to like you've got like a nice gradient to get in and out of the back. And you just start seeing people coming out of the boat and like as a team lifting things out. There's like a cargo hold door that's on the front end of the ship that is opened, and they're taking things out of the hold up onto the deck, and then they are taking them to the truck. And it looks to be a equal mix of like barrels and crates. And it's very like they're not being necessarily quiet, but it looks like they're practiced. They don't need to talk a lot. Like people have their jobs, they're doing their jobs, and like you know, that's about it.
Okay.
Yeah, they're just takes them a little while to get what you assume the truck loaded to what they want it to, because you can see the backs, like the rear axle springs, like sag slightly, like it is loaded, not overloaded, but just loaded. And you know the driver who is there, like he's got a little clipboard and he's just checking a couple of things off. He's talking with that deer that looks to have authority, and they're just kind of talking in hushed tones to each other. Like driver's nodding, writes on the clipboard a little bit, takes a piece of paper, rips part of it off, gives it to the deer, and then he goes into the cab. It's closed. Everything's closed up on the truck, and it's hit on the side twice, and then he starts rolling out of the operation through the fence. Things get quiet again. Gates closed, and people that were unloading the boat, like they linger a bit, like outside, like, you know, doing some stretches, everything, just kind of like enjoying the night air. See a couple of people light up while they're not on the boat, or they're on like the bow, like far away from the superstructure. And, you know, like a smoke break, like it takes like 5-10 minutes, and then everybody just like, you know, start shuffling back in by ones and twos, and then everybody's kind of gone except for the people in the shack that are kind of on guard. So what would you like to do? It's been about an hour since you sat down and started observing.
Okay. There's clearly something going on here which warrants further investigation, but it's a little bit too risky for me to try and infiltrate just straight up walking in among them, because I'm not going to be able to break in there. Just straight up break in there to try and find out more. We're going to need a more coherent plan, but I've definitely done a good recce here. So I'm going to exfil and return to HQ and report back to my superiors.
Right. So you've got to get out of the fenced-in area to do that. So I'm going to need another speed evasion stealth check.
Oof, let's sound that one for a while there.
I thought that was going to be a 1.
That's
Nice.
3 successes.
The luck of these rolls is upsetting for the fact that I'm about to go to a poker table with 4 mob bosses.
Midge is just sweating in the corner like,
Because this is opposed by one of the individuals.
Midge is all mum spaghetti right now.
I am that Key and Peele. Sweat.
Oh, the sweat, Jeff.
Sweat meme.
Okay. So,
Those are some alarming noises from a DM.
yeah, well, you got amazing averages on those rolls. It's not as bad as it could have been. Oh, it's funny that you just barely beat one of these D12s with a D8 because you rolled max on a D8. It's just, so you get most of the way. And the problem is like getting over the fence from this side is harder because it's much harder to get onto the roof of one of these warehouses because there's not an intermediary roof to work from. So you spend like 5 minutes going like, it's like that math gif where you're just like, okay, no, that's not gonna work. That's not gonna work. Finally figure, okay, you could risk going over the fence if you go on like where there's a pole supporting the fence. There's less give in that section, so maybe that'll work better. And it kind of does, but also it has the knock-on effect of the pole is now hitting the fence, like the chain link, and so it makes a noise, and you get over the fence when you like look back and see, and there's that deer who is standing on the second story or the second not story, like deck, like the second deck up, and looking over towards you, to where you're at, and he just see him like take something out, like you're just like stalking away, looking back over, and he takes something out, and there's just a bright light, handheld flashlight or torch or whatever you want to call it, just lights up, and he starts scanning around. He heard you, but he doesn't know your specific location because he rolled one better than him on his rolls. So he heard you. He knows somebody's out there, but he can't pinpoint. He's just looking, and you can definitely see he is armed with a long gun. And he's got braced it on there. He's like checking, and yeah, and so there's nothing stopping you from just getting out quickly.
Yeah, I'm getting out now. That's me. I mean, this was like a one of them back in World War One, like the trench, not raids, but when they sent the boys out into like no man's land, into
marking
the
the avenues.
Yeah, marking the avenues. That was me doing this right there, like flashbacks to
flashbacks. Yeah. Okay.
Managed to get out before the German sniper got me.
Yeah, well, he didn't have a star shell, so that helped. So yeah, that happens, and you start making your way back to the guess you're going back to the Alderman's place because that's where you would go. There's not a lot of other locations. They haven't told you where else to meet. So that happens.
No, he
and then-
knew we were at the bar. He knows we're at the casino.
No, I'm not going to go to the casino dressed like a homeless person, which was the whole reason why I've been able to stealth
that's
this,
fine.
because
It's
everyone
true.
ignores homeless people, and it
Yeah.
worked. So I'm just going to, go
We're a
straight to the
security
Alderman's
contractor
house.
on the job.
Yes, I'm going to go straight to the Alderman's house and wait for him there.
All right, so you do that, and so cut back to to the Alderman who's just walked in. 3 individuals, one of which you know is Mr. Barron. Looks mortified that you're there, and Lena notices you notice that, and notices that Barron notices you, and it's just like this,
Spider-Man meme.
this like. Just like, oh god, everybody knows each other, but nobody knows other people. Like, so it's just like this. There's a chain of people knowing some people, but not knowing everybody, and so it's just this big web. So I'm gonna say it because it just makes it easier here. Samuel Turner like looks over to Mr. Barron, and just goes, "So, got anything to tell us?" I didn't. This wasn't planned. This wasn't planned. I didn't. He's just more of a contractor than anything. You can see Barron is very uncomfortable.
What Mr. Barron means is that we've worked together before, and I'm actually surprised as he is to see him here. I hear you gentlemen are having a game, and I'm more than happy to sit down and play.
You can see the honey badger is like he's like looking back between both of you. It's like he's very paranoid looking, like just like you planned this. You planned this. This was like now he's second guessing everybody, including the magician, because he's like you can see in his face. Nobody can be that bad at magic. Nobody can be that bad at it.
Archie can.
Yeah, no, he definitely can. Not bad. It's well.
A+ for effort, F- for results.
Yeah, no. Well, we are having a card game, Mr.
Andrews, Jack Andrews.
Right. New Alderman, right. We're having a bit of a game, discussing some business. Seems that you're a part of this business, so don't see why you can't join in. Take a seat. And he points specifically to the chair where the back is to the door.
I sit down.
Okay.
I have no issues.
I'm going to have one eye on that door the entire rest of the time.
We playing cash or chips? As I set my glass of water down on the table.
just you put water down and you immediately notice they're drinking scotch. Everyone here is drinking actual alcoholic scotch that looks to be a very fine vintage. Just cash. Under the table, as it were.
I take out my pocketbook, put it on the table. So what's the buying? And I'm gonna be playing, and I'm on the full-on charm offensive. I am.
Okay.
Ask the game first.
The buy-in. You already asked. The buy-in is one extravagant expense. So the equivalent
that's
of
fine.
the equivalent of most of a car.
Couple $100, kind of.
Yeah, it's a couple $100. Yeah, no, this is This could be equivalent if you throughout the time period you could see this being like a friendly game between people nowadays. Like that's how much money is being thrown around here. So it's like a couple $100.
Everybody.
Inflation.
Yeah, a couple $100. That's so they take it and you put the money in the center and then they give you chips. For it, so there's a couple $100 bills in the in this pot in the center, but All right. So, second.
What's the game? What's the game?
What I'm getting.
Game determines strategy. What's the game?
This is why I'd never play poker with Rival. He would make me so
no, I
nervous.
wouldn't.
No.
I wouldn't.
Jack doesn't play the game; he plays the man. So.
Yeah, but you have to know how you're going to play the person by what game you're playing.
Oh yeah, there's still tactics to that.
Yeah, no, it's. I have getting the notes up. Hold on, it's taking a while to load up my open office. Come on, and it crashed. Okay, give me a second here.
Shakes fist angrily at Moogle.
Well, I have four documents open because I had to have the old docs. I have to add a couple of different things for other stuff.
We're not blaming you, Roach. We're blaming
yeah.
Open Office.
He's got docs about docs on screens about docs, and they're docs in a window.
He's doxing himself. Stop him.
Yeah. It's 7-card stud.
I don't actually know what that is, so Google time.
Stud poker is everybody play. They get hands of face up cards, and so you're betting on you're betting on
Your whole card.
Yeah. Thank you. I don't know the terminology as well.
Also known as Seven-Toed Pete or Down the River.
Yeah. Well, that's where the river, because the river's just the cards that are being drawn in the center.
Interesting.
To make a hand.
It's
So
a cool name.
Yeah. No. And well, the other variant is 5-card stud, which is
5 hand. It's 4 open cards and a face card, a whole card.
yeah.
You're basically trying to bet on knowing most of your opponent's hand compared to yours, with the only thing being that the card you only know what you've got.
Yeah.
Right.
It pays to have a really good poker face with stud poker. 'Cause you
Wrong.
have
It pays to have a poker body. You can't tell what someone has from their face, but you can from their feet.
Fuck you.
I love Rival.
I hate being managing somebody who's an expert in something that I now have to theoretically bullshit in as other 3 people that would effectively know what this is.
You hate managing.
I promise I will not touch my control key again.
Roach, you don't hate managing people who know. You hate managing Rival because he's always the person that knows in this group of people.
This is why Twilight 2000 is going to also be bad, because I have very little knowledge of specific British military stuff, very bad.
But that might piss off more than one person in the group.
That might piss off more than one person.
Utari as well on that one.
Yeah,
I'm sorry.
Utari and everything. Yeah, it's going to be bad.
I'm just here so I don't get fined.
So, yeah. So, 7-card stud, and so they start the game, and it's what do you get a sense of is they're waiting for a while to what the fuck is going on with everybody else?
I killed Rival. I'm sorry. I murdered a man. I murdered a man. I'm sorry.
Okay, so yeah, you can get a sense that they're playing a couple of hands with you to see kind of where you're at. They're getting a feel for you as a person. At least 2 of them are.
Mm-hmm.
Baron just looks like you fucked him. You fucked him today. He's looking at you like this. Why are you? It's like he's not talking to you, but his eyes are saying more. Those large raccoon eyes are just like, why the fuck are you here? Why are you screwing me? Why are you screwing me?
I haven't done shit. He's the one that's sweating. No.
He's sweating. You don't know why yet. Yes, I'm not gonna make you roll for this because this is very a couple of hands in. These aren't big pots. These aren't big pots. It's like small things. Money's trading hands. You win some, you lose some. It's a lot of just everybody's trying to feel each other out, or try to
I'm
feel you out
gonna be making
specifically.
conversation at the same time. I'll be like, so, is this purely a transactional game that I've barged in on? Apologies again if I've ruined something here. Or are we celebrating something? I am being the friendly, overtly chummy to everyone tiger that I am.
And I'm watching everyone.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're watching everyone.
I'm not trying to get the subtlety of anything. I'm doing what I've done the entire time. I am.
What you see is the
Bullshitting
badger.
your way through.
Yeah, the badger does not engage with you that much, other than specifically game related. He doesn't. He's trying to figure out what you specifically are to Baron, because he's just like kind of. It looks like he's trying to gauge what's going on here, because you get the sense he was told this was something, and now this has shook up like an agreement. This has shook up something, and it's thrown him off like a lot, and he expresses that primarily through anger. So
cool.
Baron, you can definitely say he's uncomfortable, mostly for the same reason, but the fact is that everybody thinks he's fucking them, but he's just kind of like, things have gone wrong. He didn't prep for this, and now he's gonna look bad because of it, is what you get a sense of. And Turner looks pretty mellow about this. He's very almost like you. He's being very cordially smiling. He tries to like small talk. And you notice as well, he was all kind of small talk and being very nice the whole time before Jack came in. He hasn't changed that much. And when you ask, oh, what did I barge in on here? Are we celebrating? And Turner, like he's shuffling the deck. Say we're celebrating something. There's a possibility of. Oh, what'd you say, boys? New lease on the city? Things go right here? Shuffle. Breaks the deck. Gets it all together. Though
Jack's eyes kind of flicker with interest because ambition just went, hello.
Though, gotta say, we weren't expecting a fourth for at least another half hour, and then we were gonna get into it. So, you got front row seats to something amazing, kid. And he says kid. He is definitely, you can tell, he looks vigorous, like he's got a lot of vigor to him, but he is old. Like he's got that definite graying kind of bits to him in his fur, like in his like temples and stuff. He's definitely probably the oldest person here on the table, even Mr. Baron, who is fairly up there.
Hey, well, I'm a city boy, born, bred, and educated. So, thank you for allowing me at your table, Mr. Turner.
Kind of shakes his head, he like nods a bit, and they start getting into it. And let's say it takes another like 10 minutes for things to start breaking down in terms of like the walls a little bit. A couple of hands go by. Baron's starting to like come down from like, oh god, no, this is bad. Like this, and he's starting to like calm down. You can see, and the honey badger has not gained less angry, but he's now more willing to share that openly. Like he's being less tactful about it.
Have they forgotten about me and Archie?
Oh, totally. This is things have shaken up a lot right now. The only person, because with the way the table is arranged, the only person who has direct eye line with you, Archie, is Mr. Baron, who liked kind of the whole thing, and so but now he's much more interested in what's going on. And it doesn't look like Archie's too weirded out by this, as in he might be used to maybe working for Mr. Baron.
I wish Archie was a fly now, because he would legitimately just be a fly on the wall to the conversation.
And he's just kind of doing this thing where he's like, he he doesn't get the tension in the room right now, so he's just kind of, okay. Sooner or later. All right. So like kind of tapping his hand on his like knee a little bit, just kind of waiting. It's kind of that. Though at some point, you do see Turner's face kind of switch from kind of the jovial thing to get a little bit more serious. And goes, "Oh well, Baron, you want another show, or can we get into the specifics here? You don't want to have a audience." Oh, no, Archie, you can just, yeah, no, everything's on me. Oh, okay. Thank you, sir. Everybody, it's been a pleasure. Hope Archie the Magician, you know, I do parties. Just, yeah. Okay, I'm gonna go. Just kind of like,
Thank you for letting me watch, monsieur.
oh, yeah. Yeah, come on, Lena, let's go. He's very, like, kind of like, I was just like, that didn't go as well as I thought. That's bad. I gotta work on things. Just kind of like, I need a job. Just kind of like kind of things going through his head. He opens the door for you though.
Lena walks out, and there's a wolfhound on one side she knows, and on the other side there's a panther she knows.
And opposite is all the other bodyguards going, yeah, I'm not going near those two.
Yep.
And
I'm standing there like with
reaction to Lena being in the room.
It's just a smirk. Like, I knew full well so she was going to be around here somewhere.
Yeah.
We run into her eventually. It's more like, oh, here you are. Okay.
No.
You want to go dancing? Apparently, I got it. I'm covered for the night. Mr. Baron's gonna cover it, so I got, table.
I would love to, but first I would like to go to the bar.
Oh, okay. Do you want me to go with you, or are you gonna?
I look at Roman.
Is the door
like
fully closed?
Yeah, it closes like.
Oh
violently.
damn it! I was gonna say if she said that as the door was closing, I'll turn to the light and be like, "Madam, would you kindly also refilling my drink at the bar? I'll of course pay."
Yeah, no, doors
that's
closed.
fine.
It's hard. It's thick doors too. Oh,
I look at Roman like, hey, does that mean, you good for a minute, sort of thing?
No, I'll save us a table at the dance floor.
I would really
you,
want to Merci, Archie.
Okay.
Hey, Roman, I'm thirsty. You want anything to drink?
I'm good, man.
Got
Don't
it.
be long.
Back in a minute. Yeah, got it.
And as
I
you
walk
see
off,
Archie,
and I give Lena like a minute, and then I follow her.
yeah, and you see Archie as you pass by Larence. He's like, it's going well. Tonight's good. It started off bad, but it's going good.
Good to hear, buddy. I say as I put my probably now dead cigar into the ashtray.
Oh
nearby.
shit!
Vocalize that.
Yeah, vocalize that. I need to stop that. And then then you pass him. Well, that's going on in the poker game. What's going on right now? Everybody lights up a cigars, or they're pouring themselves a scotch. You see Turner take out a bottle, pop it open, and pours it. Looks over to you, Jack. Would you like to imbibe a little bit?
Yeah, I'll take one.
Pours it. Puts it over. Closes the bottle. Puts it back down. All right. Starts playing the game, and they get into it. So Mr. Turner just gets into it. So, Frank, about these attacks going on, we need to talk about that. It's not a good look for everybody. Mr. Baron looks to you and just goes this isn't something you should have been in, but he immediately goes to it. Yeah, we've had a couple of problems. We're noticing that too. It's starting to cause a bit of trouble with the law. And Frank looks to Frank, what you assume is the Blue Boys leader, his given name. He like looks uncomfortable about you, and then he goes into it. He goes, "Somebody's screwing with our operations. We're retaliating. What would you have me do?" Well, we could, like now, have a friendly conversation between civilized individuals and not shoot up a bar.
Really want to chime in, but I'm not. I'm just.
I'm giving you opportunities. But yeah.
No, I'm holding for a moment.
That's true. That's true, Sam. Though, say, pretty uncivilized taking somebody's livelihood out from under them. Probably a proper response. Hard to keep the boys from stopping that. Even harder with money getting a bit more thin on the ground. But were we here to talk about my failings, or are we here to do something about the situation? Leans back. Turner leans back, waits, like looks at Baron. Baron, like, he's doing that thing where he's like flipping a chip between his fingers, like he's just like a little tick. Well, there's some options. I've got something planned. That's why I brought you two together. And I guess if he's a part of your outfit, he can be here for this. Talking to you specifically, and he was referencing Baron.
It's more of an association, but it seems we've become entwined in the situation.
I have an idea. Why don't we lay out directly and clearly our territories where we want to be, and we deal with who's definitely at fault for this. Frank's just like looking between, and he takes a cigarette, and he's confused. And Baron also looks confused, and he looks towards you because you've been given the specific task of tracking down who's a problem with this. And he's kind of, you can see like in his eyes, he's like, what's going on? Is that true? And like split second, he looks back to Turner. And Turner lights up a cigar. That's why I invited the wheelwrights, the Blue Boys. You two and my outfit, we're the only honest bunch in town. Now the Donaldsons, the 9th Street, they're responsible for what's going on. I got it on good authority. Fact, I'll have proof of that. Should be within the hour. There's like a lot of silence between there. You see Frank's like thinking, and he's like starting to believe it in his head. You can see like Baron's being very standoffish, but he didn't look out of, like, it didn't look like he was that fazed by the suggestion of it, which was essentially from what you got, like a proposed alliance between the three outfits. They're at the table right now against the other two that haven't been invited.
Yeah, I don't know what we found. we don't have identify. Sorry, I'm just adding things up in my own head of what my character knows. I know about the Donaldsons.
The only thing that we can definitely confirm it's not the Donaldsons.
Or the Blue Boys.
It's not the 9th Street or the Blue Boys. It could be the Turners, could be Wheelwrights. It could, well, we've kind of...
Wheelwrights are the ones we're hired are. We were thinking it's the Turners, and now it's Turner that's negotiating an alliance and turning the blame.
Yeah, which is what you would do if you were doing it. If you were in this situation, you'd go, well, I don't want my cut to go, so let's go with those guys, because I don't like them. It's easy to point a target somewhere else.
You see, Mr. Turner, if I may, I have a hard time believing the Donaldsons' involvement. The Donaldsons, of course, are established, unfortunately, in my ward of the city, and I like to know what's going on in my ward of the city. They look to be scrambling. I have a hard time believing they could be behind any of this.
Donaldson's have been tailing members of other gangs, trying to intimidate them.
They've been all bark and no bite. They tailed a member of my establishment as well.
Very suspicious activity. The 9th Street been just as violent as our dear Frank's boys have been. What I hear tell, they started it. And Frank's like, yeah.
Of course
They
he's
did.
going to say that.
Yep.
Now, Frank, I want to apologize outright for a couple of your boys.
Frank Blue. Blue. You call me Blue. I'm not Frank to you.
Okay. I apologize, Mr. Blue. And I apologize again for a couple of your boys. Might have run into a couple of members of my outfit accidentally at one of Mr. Turner's establishment. Please, if they have any family, send their details my way, and I will
Eyes narrow
happily.
on you. Directly, his eyes like narrow on you.
And the
You see-
motherfucker who shot them is standing at the door.
Yeah, and Baron and Baron just like Baron just
pay my
looks between both of you. He just looks between both of you. He's like, "What the fuck are you doing? What the fuck are you doing?"
Larence's ears are burning. Like, what the fuck's going on?
And I hate to upset things, but it's 9th Street. Right.
Yeah,
Right.
that's great. Yeah.
9th Street, it takes someone to be just as riled up as Mr. Blue. It doesn't make sense that they'd get riled up
They
and
got
reveal
the
themselves over nothing.
money. They got the money, now they need the territory. I invited you because you're an associated group. So you should know what's going to be happening in the future.
Wanted to lay my skepticism on the table, but I am listening, Mr. Turner.
Obviously, because I've got the proof and I've brought us all together as a concerned businessman in this industry. I'm proposing that when we lay out territory, we make sure that we're not stepping over each other's tails here, and we can make sure in the future these wars don't happen. We all know our places. Doesn't that sound good? Baron? Frank? Kind of like timidly nod. And then Frank goes, when you say that, you mean you get first pick? Of course. only fair. Things are very quiet. I need both bodyguards outside to give me mind observation checks.
What is your mind observation dice? You
You're
have much
you're
better
both
observation.
you're both in different places right now, so you
That's
both
true.
make
Oh,
the
yeah.
check.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mind. Oh, nice. And observation. Okay, so 1 success for me.
Love it, gentlemen. Thank you.
I've got 3.
3 successes. Okay. So, all right. So, Larence, you've got a job. You're trying to meet with Lena down in the bar, and we're just going to do that real quick. You get to the bar. Lena, you were at the bar.
I wish my lemonade was stronger. Carry on.
Yeah.
Are you giving him like? Are you just info dumping, Larence?
Monsieur Andrews has just gone in
French.
with. Mr. Andrews has just gone in with. There's a moose, a badger, and a raccoon. They look terrifying, and I think one was called Mr. Barron, and I think the moose is Mr. Turner, but blue suit is usually blue boys.
Does that match with like any kind of description I might have heard of Mr. Turner because I used to work for them?
Oh yeah, no, you definitely know who Mr. Turner is. He is an old, tall, strong moose that goes around all the time.
Ass.
Oh yeah, no, he's one of those people that his presence alone kind of stops that from happening. But he also has he's got both the body presence and the sheer force of will kind of presence.
Do we have a way to tell Roman without letting on the other bodyguards? I think he speaks a little French, but I don't. If you've got a sign between you, you might want to give it.
I can let him in on stuff without anyone else knowing. And I pick up. I've ordered like 2 drinks, even though Roman said he wasn't thirsty. I ordered like a lemonade and I don't know whatever Roman would drink, like a carbonated soft drink or something maybe.
Mm-hmm.
And I will.
Where do you want me?
Stay close.
So while that's going on, up in front of the door, Roman, you got 3 successes. So you see this. The blue boys and the wheelwright bodyguards, they're both kind of staying in their position. They're just kind of, looking at you, then looking around like they're doing like standard, like checking out for threats. There's not a lot of room, by the way. It's a standard like they're usually like kind of cutouts for the tables for poker and stuff like this, so they don't get in the way, but like this is just a room. So
I feel like it's just people mostly shoulder barging each other because it's
kind of a little bit, yeah. It's actually kind of hard. It's actually kind of an obstacle for people working on this floor to kind of get past this just group of people that physically can't leave because of their job. But you see the 2, what you assume to be, by process of elimination, Turner gang bodyguards, they leave. They go down the hallway about 20 to 30 feet, and they go into one of the private rooms.
Where are they going? You. Yeah, you.
Hold on. So blue boy is just like, yeah?
Go find out where they went.
I'm sorry. Who are you?
Guy who's gonna feed you your teeth if you don't do as I say.
No, Benny, don't. This isn't the guy.
Benny, listen, Benny. The dental work the last guy needed. Just fucking do it.
Okay.
You're here to protect your boss, right?
Yeah, he's in there. So
Right.
I don't.
Shut up.
Okay.
Their boss is in there too, and they just leave.
This is their boat?
It's their boss. Would you leave your boss if he didn't tell you to?
I mean, I can't answer that
Right.
truthfully in
In
public.
which case, go. Find out where they went.
He just looks over to the other guy. Yeah, go do it, Benny. Okay, just stop.
Benny, just fucking go. Just go. Go.
The two
You three.
wheelwrights, one of which has a drink, and the other one is just smoking, just like looking at this.
You two. Wait, you three. Here.
What?
Drinks down. Smokes down. Get yourselves prepped.
I am prepped. This is like I'm hair trigger. Oh fuck.
Great in team with teenagers.
I love that.
He misses
I love-
Larence he just misses Larence all of a sudden. Just like
I love
damn.
the politician lawyer has better bodyguards than the 3 mob bosses.
You've got a professional killer and a soldier who is also a professional killer.
You know, complacency breeds. You know.
Stupidity.
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, I would
Okay.
argue that it's that the mob bosses don't have their close personal protection be their most efficient mobsters, because their threats.
Yeah.
The most efficient would be lieutenants who are doing their own ops, like
Yeah,
around
true
the city,
say, yeah.
and that they can trust to manage things.
Andrew's operation isn't that big yet. So
Yeah,
maybe in
Andrew's
the future.
operation is himself. It's like,
Yeah.
what is his operation?
I am.
Maybe
so
in 5
yeah.
or 6 years,
Benny.
he's trying for senator.
Yeah. Okay.
Benny.
Yeah.
Move.
Yeah, all right. Yeah. He
You
goes and
three.
walks.
Get yourselves ready.
They like listen haphazardly, and it's like things down, and they're just standing there. Okay. And okay.
Why are you
so-
looking at me?
Because honestly, you're the one who is being odd right now. So that, and also there is like we have what 40 50 feet of lead time before they can get near us, because they have to go around the staircase up, or they have to
Question.
bust right through there.
Question. How fast does a bullet move?
One of them just goes, I don't know. Well, it would depend on the specific bullet, because it could be like, I don't know, upwards of, we're talking 4-digit, like feet per second. Like, it depends on the load, honestly. Like, it could, it's faster than, well, I mean, they tell you it's faster than speed and bullet for a reason, because it's quick, It's
Yeah.
so while that's going on and Barry's going down there, there's just, like, again, it's like just like random conversation because tensions are high. So it's like because if you ever been around soldiers, random shit starts being talked about at random times, and it's like it goes into that. So yeah, hold on, let me roll for Barry. He is a basic bodyguard, so he gets D8s.
He is basic bitch bodyguard.
Gets
The
D8s.
triple B's.
Just gonna hit.
Okay.
Well,
That's
Yeah.
twin. That's okay. That's
And it's
good.
too early for Druid Sandstorm to be a thing, so.
So what's going on? You see Barry like look back over his shoulder at you, and he goes, shrugs his shoulders and opens the door and goes in. A couple of seconds go by.
Where's Lawrence
So-
at this point?
Larence, you're on your way holding 2 drinks, going through
Yeah.
the crowd, holding 2 drinks, like going through, like doing the thing where you're like, oh, no, hold on. Like,
Yeah,
you're trying not
yeah.
to spill them. It's a party. You have to go through them to get to the 2 staircases that go up and then go back over to the
Can I see
door.
Roman from where I am?
Yeah, when you get near the staircases, you can look over your shoulder back towards him, because the staircases are on the opposite side of where Roman is posted. It's
Yeah.
like the furthest room from the staircases.
Okay.
Uh,
So
To
I
get
see
through there.
him, and I assume
to give
he
you
looks...
spatial reference to the boat itself, the staircases to go to the second floor are at the stern of the
Right.
of this boat, whereas the private room where all the mob bosses are is at the it's in the bow section of that second floor, and it's the middle one. Literally, it is the furthest away distance wise, like walkway wise, to
Yeah.
the staircases. So it
So
is.
I turn to check Roman, because before I go up these stairs, because I won't see him when I'm up the spiral staircase, I check to see what he looks. Does he look agitated? Does he? Yeah, I see him and he's doing this, and I like look around for a second just to try and make myself look casual. Is there 2 like ladies nearby? any of them.
No, but
Doesn't
there's a
matter.
waiter. There's a waiter who's got like just a tray, and he's going by. He's not
Just
paying
pop,
attention.
and then I sprint up the stairs.
Oh, it's just like it goes. All right, you start going up. You start sprinting into the main room where the mob bosses are. It's like there's a break in, like kind of like a quiet part of the conversation. Mr. Turner just goes, I think we're all in agreement here. We just gotta wait for the proof to get here. It should be here, like I said, anytime soon. Anybody want a cigar? Everybody goes, I could do a cigar. Frank like looks at his like the gnarled end of the last one he was at. He just goes, yeah, I could do one. Okay. I got some special Cubans. Hold on a second. Gets up from the table, goes to the end of the room, and there's like a little, like a little table where he opens it up for, and he takes out like a cigar case. It's got 3 cigars in there. And he goes, well, I only got 3. You good, Jack?
All good. I pull out my own cigar case and.
All right. Well, here's the business. I'm going to need Jack to roll a body evasion check as 2 Tommy guns start opening up through the wall opposite of where...
Yeah, I thought this was coming. I think this Jack, not Roman.
No, not you, not you, rival.
As soon as those bullets start flying, I'm in through that door. You know I am.
I know, but
Yeah.
this is a surprise thing. I just need that. So
That's
that's no
me.
successes.
No successes.
No success. Okay, so I'm gonna need you. What are you gonna? I just need to do something here. Okay, so you're taking 3 damage, so you
Okay.
need soaks for that.
I have an injury soak 4.
4. Okay.
I wasn't here when
You
we
have-
last did combat, so I'm.
All right.
I
The thing
am-
is, your soaks. You can't. It's 4. So you take 4, and that's the injury's used up. That's all your soaks. So
Right, okay.
you can't say like, oh, I only take 3 of that soak. It's all or nothing for a soak. So you activate your injury soak. So
That's the only
basically
thing
that means
I have. So
yeah, that means you get clipped by a couple of rounds as you like go down on the table. You see Mr. Baron, the person who has hired you and holds most of your debt and everything, like get up a half second as he hears like cocking of gun
yeah.
handles. And he like gets up and you can see him. He's going for like a jacket gun. Like he's going for a gun that he's got in there and just, he gets peppered. Like he just a platoon. He gets peppered and I rolled it. He takes 7 damage. He only has 4 for a soak. So he immediately dies. He just like immediately goes, just zip right through the head and he's just down like on the case. Now, the honey badger, he actually gets his gun out, but he is behind, like the guns are coming from behind him. So he's just getting peppered in the back. And he also takes 7 damage. So he goes straight.
okay, hell.
So it's surprise attack. They had time to aim and get everything ready, and they just opened up with automatic weapons, like, and they're spraying. So it's just a whole bunch of shots. And he almost had enough. Actually, he has enough soaks for 6, but he still loses by 1, which means he immediately dies. It was just really bad for you guys because these guys were really good at combat, so they could have helped you. But this is bad rolls here. So that happens. By the way, Mr. Turner, he's in like the back section of the room against a wall, and so he's not in line of fire. Like they're avoiding from
Yeah,
like in a
they-
split
they-
second that they're
This is
avoiding
planned,
that
I
section
know.
of the wall. This is totally planned. Jack and Larence, you hear just 2 machine guns cut open, like opposite of the room. Screams start going out, and La Pan, you see individuals who were running tables just throw down whatever they were throwing out, and they're bringing out guns. Like they're bringing out like pistols, like maybe a third of them, and and they're starting to like get people out. Like in the split seconds, they're trying to either get people out or they're going to the door to try and close the door. And all the bodyguards who were on the second floor that weren't a part of this, they're getting out their guns and they're looking out. What's going on? Who's what? They're trying to target acquisition.
Roman said he's through the door, so
yeah. And in the split second, Roman, you just like boot the door open, like right on the thing. Door opens. You see this. Now we're in combat.
I'm like,
Can I
on the floor, like.
interject one thing in a split second? Can I attempt to roll a body athletics to just bully my way through people in my way?
To get further.
I do not give a shit if you're in my way. You're going over the edge, or you're getting
Oh my
run
god!
over.
Yeah,
I
sure.
do
Give
not
me
give a
that.
shit.
Yeah, sure. Give me that. You only have one soak, Midge.
Athletics.
Apparently.
Ooh, okay. One success, one tie.
I'll double check that.
Yeah, you should have an endurance. You should have endurance.
You should have at least winded and panic, I assume, as well.
Well, you get the panic one just automatically, but you also get your endurance and your body, right?
Yeah, so like you can roll your body dice to try and soak, and you can also roll endurance if you have endurance dice to try and soak.
I don't have any endurance dice, so I've got my body dice.
Well, roll it. You might be able to soak what like if you
could soak 1 or 2 off.
You had 3 damage, so
that's a 5.
Okay.
1.
So you don't even so you're not injured. It's like you hear it and you just like push off from the table and like you get down and just like shots are going, cards are flying, chips are flying, and everything like that. There's a whole bunch of money in the air. So
basically, me and Mr. Turner are just looking at each other across the table.
Yeah, and he doesn't have a gun.
Nor do I.
And the door just I need Roman to make a athletic. In your split second, make a body athletics check just to see if you break down this door for you, or I want to see how if you've gotten through the door or if that's going to be a part of your action.
Right. Okay. I would like to say I'm sending 2 guys down to find Benny.
Well, this is during combat. Your split second, you said you were trying to get in through that. I want to check and see if you get that before or after combat starts. So, do you have any athletics?
Nope.
Okay, you don't get through the door before combat starts.
Okay.
Before the combat round starts. So that would to order them would be a combat thing you'd have to do, or to get through the door, that'd be a thing. So, we're in combat right now. I will say they had a surprise round, and I hate the fact that we haven't had a combat with everybody here. It's always been just one person gone.
Apologies, Utari. I didn't expect to get shot at in this scenario.
I didn't expect them to do this first. I thought we were going to do the old doc first, but whatever. Yeah, I'll say because of the way combat works, it's one side goes and another side goes. So it's.
I'm just trying to work out. I'm doing Jack right now. I'm trying to work out the next deal because the mob star I was working with is dead. So.
Yeah, he's dead. He also wasn't the leader of the wheelwrights. He was he's like a top lieutenant of the wheelwrights. There is a wheelwright head, but they don't. They're like one of those families that are so high up they don't deal with people below them. So like he was probably the highest ranking individual of the wheelwrights that's on the ground was Mr. Barron, and so now he's dead. He's very dead.
Brains are now decorating the book.
Very dead. He's very dead. Yeah. So yeah, they did their round, which was to open fire on the party in there. That's their start of their round. I'm gonna say because I'm gonna say there's a grand total of 4 individuals on the first floor, 2 individuals in the room that are firing, and Sam Turner. Sam Turner hasn't done anything yet. He sees you still alive, and he hears a boom against the door. Somebody's trying to open it, and it almost gives, but it doesn't give yet. He scrambles for what looks to be an unadorned section of wall to the opposite side of the room. He scrambles towards that. That's his action. And we start with the other side's action, which will include the other bodyguards. Mm-hmm. So I'm going to do them. So I would say you primed them to go. So I'd say the one blue boy who's left.
Rolling.
Brawling is punch kicking.
Are you just gonna start punching Mr. Turner?
What? See, I have 3 expert melee abilities, which is pummel, overbear, and grapple. If I get in close, so I can
They do damage too. Yeah.
I've got 3 dice in each of those as well, so it's I'm like
So the one blue boy, he sees the fact that his other guy, that Benny didn't come back, so he's booking it. He's taking a primary action to go medium distance, which gets him to the doorway of the opposite room, and he has a minor action where he's gonna open the door. That's the end of his turn. The 2 wheelwrights, one of them looks towards you trying to break open the door, and he's gonna provide an assist for you when you go again. He's gonna try to assist. The other one, he pulls out a service pistol, and he sees the 4 other the 4 now armed individuals at the bottom of the floor, and he's overlooking the stairwell, the stairways up. He can't.
oh.
He takes a second to try and thinks he might be able to shoot, but there's civilians just intermixing with all of these people. He doesn't take the shot. That's their actions because there's only 3 of them that are there now. So now you guys work out amongst yourselves who's going when, because you could.
I don't think Larence can get to the door this turn, can he? With that 1 success in the athletics roll to get going faster, and barreling through people.
You can, because there's variable distance in the game. You'd have to make a check to make further distance with a move.
Right. So I think we should do that first, because if I'm there, we can add that on to the next round, and me being there can help out. More people to shoot at, all that sort of stuff.
Actually, Roman was going to send you down to the far door.
Well, he didn't know that yet.
No, I know.
Yeah, I don't know.
I was going to go first. I was going to yell out.
Right. Well, if you're going to yell out orders, you should probably go first. Because
you
obviously
are a very capable individual, and we know that the turners went. Well, I know the turners went down there, so the boss is still in danger.
Yeah, that's fair.
Yeah,
Right.
remember, you can take 2 actions in the game. You can take 2 actions in a turn,
Right.
and you can't do 2 of the same action. So
Right.
that's
Well, obviously, one is going to be drawing my pistol because I have to do that because it's a service pistol. It's not just a pocket pistol.
It's
or whatever.
unwieldy, so it takes time to.
It's a big
get
boy.
out. Big boy, yeah. It's a big round. So well, first let's do Roman because he said he wanted to go first. That makes most sense. So Roman, what you have 2 actions to do. What are you doing during your turn?
Draw pistol.
That's 1 action.
Kick the motherfucking door in.
Okay, that's going to be just a use roll. So I'm going to make you do the same thing you did. You get an extra D8 on this roll because you have one of the wheelwrights aiding you in trying to get the door open. Like he's putting his weight into it as well to try and break the door open. You need 2 successes to break the door open.
And you get a D8 as well. Roll a D8 as well.
And you get
From
a
the
D8.
assist.
So you get
The assist.
So you get a body athletics if you have athletics, and you get a D8.
Hey! You did it.
Yay! 2 6s.
Yeah. So boom, boom, and you just hear like a crunch of the mechanics of the door open, and you see in front of you, your boss, his back to you, like on the ground, like split second, and just 2 dead bodies of two other mobsters, and Samuel Turner on the left side of the room, or right side of the room, going for an unadorned section of the wall. You don't know what he's doing, but he's moving towards the unadorned section of the wall. That's what's happening. That's the end of your turn, because you only get 2 actions. So I'll say the next one, actually, I want to see, Lena, what are you doing? All hell's broken loose.
Where am I?
Machine gun fire. You're at the bar. You're at the bar, which is kind of near-ish the stair.
Larence did make sure to tell her to stick close because he had a feeling shit was going to go down. And he'd
so
rather
you-
have
So
her
did she.
nearby.
You're at the bottom of the stairs. You're at the bottom of the stairs.
You saw like Larence look up at where the door was. You saw like, and a split-second change. He goes from like a very well-dressed, well-mannered person, puts the drinks down on someone's passing tray, and fucking bolts. You see him like shoulder check people out of the way, and he is gone.
She's a bunny. How high is the railing? Up to the second floor.
Very high. That would be a pretty high, like, body athletics to try and make that jump. Or I guess if you were trying to do a run up to it, speed athletics, if you wanted to try that as well. Whichever one works better for you. If you want, or you try.
You have a gift
trying to
reply
jump
this at all.
I have jumping. Add D12 to jumping athletics checks.
Oh,
There you go. Yeah.
that's useful.
I have
Yeah,
climbing
so-
because I'm a cat, so.
Yes,
Meow.
speed or body, whichever one you want to use. So whichever, depending on how you're swinging it, because you could say speed if you're trying to make a run up jump.
Because because if I go up the stairs and then run round, that's a long way. But if I can just sort of jump to where it was, where we were sort of positioned, I'm there. Yeah, it's good. Speed and body are the same. So speed, athletics, jumping.
All right.
And remember, you still have luck, and it's nearly at the end of the session.
I know.
This is it. So
Yeah, I think we'll get through this combat round and then we'll start at the top of the next one.
Yeah.
We're right at the end. Okay.
okay, 3 successes. Nice.
And it's an extra D12.
Yep. At this point, you've succeeded. It's just if you get an extra success. Good.
I mean, that's
better.
always good. Extra successes are always good.
Always good.
I don't think that registered. Hang on.
There it is. No. Oh.
3.
3 successes. Okay, you succeed. But it is like but you get to the like you jump. It's surprising, like such a small creature, you're able to just clear a story. You get onto the railing. You're now on the actual the walkway. So what's the that I'd say that counts as like a move action. So you have one more action to take.
So as a combat move, I can vault into somebody else's space. So is there anyone that's sort of close that I can vault into their space?
Like unrelated, just to get extra distance closer. Like, yeah, there's a random passerby that's like that you
It's Archie.
that's there.
It's Archie.
So you just like you just vault, and I'm gonna say like part of the vaulting thing is you actually like half tackle them. So there's just this random like upper class like guy in a tuxedo. There's just it's just like what's going on? It just gets like body checked by a rabbit.
I might be in front of Larence by now.
Probably.
You definitely are. I'd say you're most of the way. You're on the same. You're on the bow side of the railing at this point. Like you're not port starboard anymore. You're on the bow, so you just need to make it'd probably be another move action, but you wouldn't have to make a roll to get to where things are happening. So it'd be that close. Okay, next one was Jack.
Which one?
You, the
Okay.
one in the room.
Andrews.
I'm not allowed to do a fast talk as an action here.
No,
Okay, cool.
we're past that point.
Yeah,
We're-
thought it might be. Okay. So there's machine
people are
guns
dead.
coming through the wall. 2 people are dead in front of me. One of them had a gun out. I could grab the gun because I don't have a gun. But
Yeah, you could.
I don't touch guns. That's
You also don't have training with like a
No.
firearm, so you're not. Yeah, so you don't know.
But I was a boxer in for the
It's
university.
up to you, buddy.
So
Up to you, buddy.
do I charge the gangster that's running for a hidden wall, or for the false wall, or do I get the fuck out and then have these
Get the
gangsters
fuck out.
hunt me down later?
Get the fuck out. Personally,
Okay,
Get the fuck out.
I am.
You're not good to us
The
dead.
door's now open behind me, right?
Oh yeah, no, it's definitely open, and you see
Fucking
2
out.
bodyguards.
I am
Okay. You take a move
Scramble up the
action.
wall. Yep.
Yeah, actually, no. You take a stand-up action because that's a thing. You have to.
No,
you have to take an action
can I
to stand
crawl?
up.
Can I crawl out? I'm not. I don't want to be shot at again. I've seen the. I want to stay below the
Well,
bullets. Can I?
You get 2 actions. You get two. You get 2 actions that are non-consecutive, that are non-repeating. So you can stand up as one and then move as another. So that and that's fine because you can't double move in this. It's just so you stand
While
up.
you guys are wrapping up, I'm really gonna have to head off here for
No
bed.
worries,
It's
Utari.
quite late
All
for
right,
me.
All right,
we're
see you
really
later,
right
Utari.
at the end.
Bye,
So yeah,
Utari.
we'll see you.
Thank you,
Bye,
buddy.
Utari. So yeah, you stand up, you move, you get, if you're just trying to move as far as you can away from danger, you can, I would say, get to a point where you're equidistant. If you want to, you can get equidistant from Jack and Lena. On the opposite side, away from the machine guns, because you're not running towards the room that has the machine guns. You're going to the opposite side.
Yeah, I'm
So-
out. I want to get out the machine gun room.
So you can do that. You're equidistant from the 2. Run right past Jack and the
Yeah.
other bodyguard.
I think that's all I can do, right?
Yeah, that would be all you could do.
Yeah.
And I think that's a perfect time for us to end it there. With top of the next round being the gangsters that are hostile to you.
Actually, it's my round.
No,
Larence
you
still-
moved. Didn't you?
I didn't
you
roll
did-
or anything. I would have rolled athletics for it.
Oh, yeah. Go ahead and make a move. And if you want to do like a long distance move, hold on. Just let me double check.
He says something in Irish, and I'll reveal that at the start of the next session because might as well. So body athletics. I'm barreling like he's going for it.
Okay, I'd say that's medium range, so you need to roll speed athletics versus 3. You gotta get
Right.
2 successes to get ensure 3 to get up near.
So 1 success.
Okay, so you'd have to make another movement after next round to get to Jack.
Yeah. So
You don't
draw
get-
pistol running is essentially my turn.
All right, then we end it there.
So, join us next week for this, the conclusion to this stunning set of combat. Will we get out alive? I sincerely hope so. I have my tail between my legs, that's for sure. But, as always, thank you to Commissar Roach for writing and GMing this game. As always, you can catch him at youtube.com/Commissar Roach. I've also been joined by the wonderful UtariOnzo and Surelyonlymikey. You can get them at the Twitch channels or handles of that name, as well as the beautiful duo that is RivalZoneGaming and Red Moogle. I was about to say Moogle. That'll be a Red Moogle.
That's a lot of cats.
But you can catch them at RivalZoneGaming on both YouTube and Twitch. If you want to catch them, that's where you need to go. And I have been, of course, Midgeman. This has been the Component Cast, and you've been watching Tricogha Nights. And we'll see you next week. Bye-bye.
Tricogha.
No, it's Tricogha.
Tricogha. Fuck.
Tricogha Nights.